Hey, this is Chuck Dixon, and you're listening to Signal of Doom.
Well, for me, the action is the juice. I'm in.
Hello and welcome to Signal of Doom, episode 48. Stu, is everybody in? The ceremony's about to begin. How are you, Stu?
I'm a little worse after hearing that impression of...
Is everybody in?
Oh, that's bad, Morrison.
The ceremony's about to begin. Stu, I've been sick. I'm on flu meds. I'm one step away from death. And so the audience is going to get unfiltered Dave.
Unfiltered. I like that you still show up for the signal.
Oh, hell yeah.
Thick and thin.
Hell yeah.
Doped up on flu meds.
Oh, yeah. I'll be recording from my hospital bed just on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll have to bury me with it. I'll still be talking in the coffin.
That doesn't surprise anyone.
Yeah. Ranting as well.
Ranting, uploading YouTube videos with very poor lighting.
Stu, you've never noticed I brought the big light in now. There's no more poor lighting
I
in my
have seen
YouTube
this
videos
giant
as
light.
well.
It's facing directly at me. It's like an interrogation bowl.
I should turn it on and just
very intimidating.
Grill you a little bit. Now, Stu, obviously this episode we're doing Black Panther, Panther's Rage. Stu's suggestion. A big trade from the 70s. Pretty much is the last suggestion Stu ever gets on the show, I would say.
Except for this week and next week. And the week after that, apparently.
Now, Stu, while I was struggling with the flu and reading through your epic that you selected, I had a great new idea for the show. And this has come up. This is a brainstorming I had yesterday.
So this is Dave in one of his fever dreams.
Yes.
Doped up on flu meds.
On a lot of flu meds.
Coming up with some...
Okay.
Ideas. I haven't heard these before.
Okay, get ready for it. Okay,
this is brand new for me.
Are you familiar with the story that we think we covered? Two stories. One was, Snagglepuss, the pink cat thing from the Warner Brothers, I think, cartoons. Have you ever seen Snagglepuss? He's like a.
I know the name. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So DC recently did a series of the Hanna-Barbera characters, and he's one of them.
Yeah.
And in this version, he's like a gay playwright. They played a bit for comedy. Anyway, they had a picture with Snagglepuss kissing a guy, and some idiot wrote on the Twitter, "That better be a female cat." and so that was and I thought, well, there's a fuckwit. And then the second piece of information. Okay, get ready for it because I'm building up.
That's not an idea for the show.
No, get ready. I'm building up to it, student. So the second thing that happened was that guy who cut together The Last Jedi and he cut out all the female parts and just was left with the males.
Oh yeah, that amazing connoisseur
that
of film.
Idiot, yeah. So I started to realise there are these idiots out there that are just morons. But I started to think, why don't I? Investigative reporter that I am, reach out to them and get them on the show and then do kind of a current affair style grilling of them. So invite them on and then do a sort of sorry for the Australian reference, but like a Mike Willisy from the 80s, but like me, so invite them on, we have a conversation, and then I start getting into it with them. Like what's going on. Exploring why they've got these weird views. What do you think? Do you like it? That kind of stuff. So I start responding to crises, and I sort of parachute in almost like commando style. Not really to solve it, but more to sort of explore it.
This is terrible.
Do you like it?
No.
A lot of people are saying, Michelle said it's too polarising. And others are fearing for my safety. I'm fine. I'm fucking dying from flu anyway. What do I care? So, do you trust me though, Stu? Because I'd have to be like the balanced interviewer.
Oh, no, I don't trust you at all to be balanced in any way.
Really?
Balanced is not the word that comes to mind when I think of you, Dave.
Well, excuse me. People might know now from the YouTube videos. I did 2 videos on the turtles, and someone reached out to me and said, I appreciated your balanced take on the turtle situation.
Balanced.
Yes.
Take.
I've never had anyone ever say to me that I'm balanced.
I like that even you can't look unbalanced on YouTube. There's so much crap on YouTube that
I just
Dave's looking like a level-headed professional.
I sounded off, and that's what inspired me to think, okay, I've got to start thinking outside the box. When I start seeing controversies now, maybe I'll reach out to their agents and stuff, or even the people themselves, and invite them on, and it's like a forum, so it's like an interview show all of a sudden. What do you think? I mean, I don't know. It's early stages, and I'm just pitting those 2 guys that are out there just to, because they're out there, man. They're on their Twitter Who knows?
They're out there. They're out there.
Yeah, like the Snagglepuss guy who said, "That better be a female cat." I mean, that's hilarious to me.
But that's a 2-second interview, Dave. This guy's got zero substance to him. How are you going to get more than 2 questions out of him?
Well, maybe that's all we need.
Wow.
But, you know, I've got a lot of ideas like that floating around my head. And I also I also thought, and this comes from me having edited the show, I have to listen back to stuff at times, you know?
Yeah.
And I just thought the other day, I caught the end of one of my rants about Wesley Snipes. And I think that's some gold there. And I'm going to insert that into the show notes. So we're going to have now, when we load up the show, we're going to have a greatest hits section. At times I'm going to meld it together and edit it. And I'm going to put that part in the greatest hits. I'll find some stuff for you as well. You've got to raise your game. You've got to bring up the bit of gold. So these are some ideas that I've been having over the last couple of days while I've been kind of stuck in the house on the flu meds, on all the fucking water and fucking tea that I'm having. Cod rules.
I feel like this is the perfect advertisement for medication abuse and how to avoid doing stupid shit by not abusing medication.
Well, anyway, I just thought I wanted
If you're taking pills by the fistful, you too can have crazy fever dreams like
wanted
Dave.
to let Stu into what's cooking on the signal. You are my partner.
Just a small piece of Dave's brain is
you are my partner in this, Stu. So feel free. If I'm getting involved in like what could be a Grand Slam takedown, I could become a hero of the internet. Like more than I am already. More than already. Like, so do you want to be like as Meatloaf said when he was recording Bat Out of Hell? There's a train leaving the station. Hop on or get the fuck off. And that's what he said to them. Obviously, you could say it was you, but like, you know, that's what he said to the session musicians who must have been like, "This guy's crazy. We're just trying to record songs."
Wow.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on, Stu, in the old Dave's head. Not all of it fully sane. I never handle flu well.
Barely any of it fully sane, Dave.
Speaking of someone who's suffered health problems, Stan Lee was rushed to hospital, I think, last week due to heart concerns. The guy's pushing one. Is it 95, Stu?
I think he is 95 now.
Gee, that's old. And a spokesman has since released a statement saying the Marvel legend is feeling fine and doing well. Speedy recovery, Stan. I 100% endorse that, Stu. I mean... Yeah. He's one of those guys you want to wish forever, don't you?
Exactly. Yeah. It's going to be terribly sad when he passes, and you know it's coming soon.
Hopefully.
Like, he's 95.
Yeah, I know. Not many people hit the 100 and are still rolling.
Exactly.
And
like, he's still doing cameos. Like,
that's what
he was at the Black Panther premiere.
Yeah, I know.
He was in a wheelchair, but he did it was a purple carpet.
Yeah.
He did the purple carpet. He was signing autographs, shaking hands. Like, he was... Yeah. Still a consummate professional.
There's absolutely no way I'll be, I don't think, alive at 95 or in any condition to do that.
Oh, God, no.
I would be so over the world by that point.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like
as soon as I hit 70, I'm going full Gran Torino, just sitting on my porch with a gun.
I like it, Stu.
Just yelling at kids.
I like it, Stu. I already do that at 43. I already do that. I was saying to one of the guys that I deal with, one of the solicitors, that, like, apparently there's a worldwide flu plague thing sweeping the world. Have you heard about this? Like, apparently there's a really severe strain of flu. I've obviously got something of it. Now, am I right in saying if
you've got a small piece of that?
If you get it early, that's good for you personally if you survive it, isn't it? Because you've survived, like, the initial dosage. Is that right? That's my understanding.
I mean, your immune system builds up some kind of resistance, but the reason the flu comes around most years is because it's a different strain.
Sure.
It's kind of mutated and evolved, so it doesn't really help you.
But could this one will kill off a fair percentage. I mean, I'm thinking...
It always does. Every year it does.
I'm convinced, dude. I get it every single year. Like, seriously. And I feel like I've got almost no immunity. And, like, you know, I'm like the guy walking out there with just nothing.
But, like, every year it's different. It's still called the flu, but it's a different strain.
I got the flu shot from work. It's fucking useless. Like, it is useless. I get it every year. I mean, I'll go on record right now. I personally think the government puts trackers in you. As soon as you get
the flu shot they give you
is
meant to immunise you against the most prevalent strain of the flu.
I'm sick. What does that say?
It means you've got a different strain. There's not just one flu. Like, that's the thing that most people don't get.
But back in the Middle Ages, like, a flu like this was enough to kill people.
Well, sure, they didn't have cold and flu meds, and they didn't have warm houses, and...
Sure.
You know...
I wouldn't have lasted.
They can't take time off work either. They had to just work through it.
I wouldn't have lasted, man.
Oh, no.
You know, Michael Jordan pulled out that massive game, 36 points or whatever with the flu. I can barely... I had to cancel tennis on the weekend. And I enjoy my hour. It's my hour of exercise per week. Yeah. I'm like a dog who gets to walk around the block once a week. And,
You're excited.
I had to cancel it because I'm not at 100%. and I've got this fucking guy who likes to come and challenge me, and he's not taking a shot at me in this condition. You're walking on like a fighter with a glass jaw right now, Stu. You know what I'm saying?
Poor Davey.
Yeah. I'm insulating myself. Come up with great ideas.
Coming up with ideas.
Yeah. So anyway, Stu, the big discussion point for this show is the Super Bowl and the trailers that came from it, and a day after, in the case of Solo.
Oh yeah, the Super Bowl is always a major event.
Oh, for sure. But this was a particularly good one for us.
It captures such a giant chunk of the television market in America that they'd be a fool not to release as many trailers as they could.
I heard it was like $6 million for a 30-second spot.
I think it's just under 5 million and change. I think for a 30-second spot.
We can't quite afford the signal just yet.
Oh no, not quite yet. Maybe next Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe next Super Bowl.
Now, Stu, let's kick off.
But there were 10. There were 10 trailers released during that Super Bowl.
Really? 10 during it.
Yeah.
Wow.
With
and most of them at half time, or is it all through the game?
Throughout the game.
Okay. Did you watch it live? I didn't
No, I watched recaps, but I didn't see it.
So you like me, you caught it as they were coming out because they were put online pretty much instantly.
Pretty much.
The trailer that I'm talking about.
Oh, the trailers, yeah. I probably saw them a few hours after they were first released.
Cool. Okay, so let's wrap it down one by one, Stu. The first one is Solo, a Star Wars story?
Yeah. So we got a little teaser trailer almost during the Super Bowl.
It was a 30-second spot, yep.
Yeah, and they said it was going to be the full trailer out tomorrow.
And you broke that last time on the show. It was on Good Morning America.
Yeah, I said it was going to be during Good Morning America, and it was.
Where are you getting this information from? You're always ahead of the news to me.
Every time, Dave.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't deliver quantity. I deliver quality.
I do quantity.
You do.
Yeah, I also do repetition.
Yeah, you do.
Many times.
And rants. Don't forget the rants.
So break it down. The first Solo one was the first. It was the first stuff from this movie, wasn't it? We haven't seen anything.
We haven't seen posters, anything. So this was the first even images we've seen of this movie, and it looks brilliant, doesn't it?
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. And I guess we can also talk about, like, the next day on Good Morning America, there was a longer trailer. I mean, pretty much
the teaser trailer was basically just an edited version of the trailer.
Yeah.
We didn't see anything. Like, the entirety of that teaser trailer was recut and reposted in the full-length trailer. So, seeing the full-length trailer is basically the teaser plus, I think, about 14, 15 seconds.
One thing I really dug was, I enjoyed the whole trailer, like from the very start. There's a little bit of humour when the guy's asking Han what he wants to be.
Yeah.
He's like a pilot. Just something about it I liked. I always love seeing the Star Wars universe. Just shit happening in it, you know?
Yeah.
And a brilliant picture of Millennium Falcon and of Lando. Like, Donald Glover looks magnificent.
That was my favourite bit of the trailer. Yeah. Seeing Donald Glover pimped out as Lando. Yeah. Looking like an absolute boss.
Yeah, no.
I loved that.
I've always liked him from Community, but I've really become a believer in just what a talent that guy is.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's really got talent dripping off him. I used to watch Community and think, but he's really gone a long way. I don't know, and it still didn't tell you much about what's going on. Now, from my memory, I've never read the books. I've actually got 3 of the Han Solo books that are very much recommended in the Legends series, but
sure.
I always thought he was an Imperial pilot washout. I always thought that was part of his backstory, that he did at some point join the program and the academy and probably got booted out for being a bit rebellious, which would fit with the character.
Quite possibly. I'm not 100% sure on his backstory.
Yeah, I've never read it.
I do know that we're going to see him win the Falcon off Lando, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. And the first meeting of Chewie?
Yeah, when he first
meets Chewie. In the trailer. So.
He is. He makes an appearance in the trailer looking young and fresh.
Yep. Although Chewie does seem to be getting younger as he gets older in the new movies as well.
No, I found the opposite. Chewie's getting greyer as he goes.
No, if you look at Last Jedi and compare it, he's noticeably younger. He's more lush. His fur's more lush, man.
His fur's more lush, but there's more grey in there.
Okay, I'll have to look at it.
Maybe he's just got a better diet, but he's ageing.
He's just ageing well.
He's ageing well.
I guess Wookiees must be able to live a long time.
I don't know. What's the lifespan of a Wookiee? How long do the Wookiees live?
Well, we could probably work it out. Like, he was in like Attack of the Clones or something.
Yeah, but like I've never seen a Wookiee die of old age.
There were some older Wookiees in that Attack of the Clones. Were ridiculous bit with the Wookiee planet. There were some bigger ones.
How old were they? I don't know.
I barely remember it. But let's say they lived for 200 years or something. You know?
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, definitely. They're fucking awesome Wookiees, actually, when I think
Wookiees are awesome.
So I'm glad that... And they'll do the Kessel Run. I think Ron Howard said they'll do all this. They'll do the Kessel Run. They've got to have the bet with Lando because that Millennium Falcon looked fantastic. I thought
it looked all like the inside the corridor when they were panning through it, and it's all white and clean. It looked
a lot cleaner than when Han and Chewie have it.
Oh yes, it is.
They definitely scunged up a bit, don't they?
Yeah, they did.
No, I think it's going to be interesting. And look, the big question mark is really this Alden Ehrenreich, how he can perform as Han Solo. Looked okay to me, I thought.
From I think about 5 seconds of audio we got, he sounds good. Yeah. He looks good in the role.
We're just going to have to get over it not being Harrison and just accept this.
I mean, I don't think that's going to be tough. I think this is set significantly before.
And Harrison's so old that he can't
There's no way Harrison could do it.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. You can I'm already starting to disconnect and I can enjoy this.
Yeah, exactly. Like seeing Glover instead of Billy D. Williams.
Yeah, and I loved Billy D.
So did I. But seeing Glover in that costume,
look good.
I was like, yeah, I'm totally on board.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, like this is something I'm actually down for. A lot of people have had a lot of doubt in Solo. Ever since we heard Ron Howard was flying in. Remember the chopper? I said we should have had a movie of him on the chopper flying in.
Look, I'm not 100% confident it's going to be amazing.
No.
I think there is still some doubt. There was a lot of damage done by that previous duo before Howard stepped in.
Yeah, those clowns.
I mean, look, if anyone's going to fix it, it's going to be someone like a Ron Howard.
Yeah, no, they definitely went the right bet. I'm sure Ron Howard will turn out a good movie, and it will be how good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. See, I think the bar has been set really high with things like Rogue One.
Yes.
Because Rogue One was a brilliant little movie.
Yeah, for sure.
And people weren't expecting it to do that well.
Very interesting film. No, there's definitely this is one that's fighting against a bit of negative hype. It's also The Last Jedi negative reactions. We know how divisive that was in a lot of ways with the fandom. You know what I mean? Like this.
Yeah, I mean it's certainly got mixed reviews.
Yeah,
Last Jedi.
But I'm down for it, Stu. And then the next one after Solo, which by the way I rated Solo very highly. I thought it was, that trailer I thought was better than I expected it would be.
Yeah, so did I.
And then we pop into Avengers: Infinity War, Stu.
How good was Avengers Infinity?
This is real good, frankly.
I'm getting so psyched for Avengers.
I mean, how much money is this fucking movie going to make? Because seriously, I just think...
honestly, I reckon it's going to hit $1.5 billion.
Jesus.
I think that's a big number, but I think...
That's enormous, Stu.
I think this movie is capable.
I think it'll hit... Look, you told me before, we've done the box office before. Age of Ultron and Avengers both hit $1 billion, didn't they?
Avengers, the first one, definitely. I'll look them up.
I'm confident this will break $1 billion. I'm confident that Avengers Infinity War, I think, has got as much hype on it as almost any movie out there.
So the Avengers made 1.5.
Really? Wow. That's a lot. But Stu, I feel that we're almost at that level of anticipation that we were for the first Avengers. Just because there's so much stuff going on in this movie.
Age of Ultron made 1.4.
Okay. So
both Avengers films have made in the ballpark.
Well, then I think you're probably right.
I think this has been the most positively hyped Avengers in a long time.
Yeah.
I think we've come on the back of a few amazing Marvel movies.
Definitely.
Ultron came on the back of a couple of questionable ones. Things like Winter Soldier were incredible.
And remember that Avengers of Age of Ultron actually, although it was very positive review, did have some negative word of mouth as well. It had some mixed stuff, how fans are. Like,
yeah, it was a little divisive amongst the hardcore fans.
Yeah, but overall, I mean, it was, I just feel that people are so hyped for this. Now, just turn to the trailer itself. Let's break down the story, man. Like, okay, so I thought to myself, am I the only one who thought this? When Robert Downey Jr. goes, it's all been leading up to this, did you find the music kind of cut over his line? I've watched it like 4 times, and the music actually cuts over what RDJ's saying, which I found kind of annoying. Like, it's very close to the end of his sentence. Like, I almost couldn't understand what he said. Like, it was like, it's all been leading up to it, and then the music cuts in big over it, man. I've watched it like 10 times, dude.
I don't know. Like, the music does cut in. I thought it worked. I
just felt they could have given it just a tiny pause. I get they're trying to cram as much in as possible. But, Stu, how about when he goes past Doctor Strange in the Iron Man suit? That was pretty badass.
That was very cool. When he flies basically through that little shield.
Like, fuck off, Doctor Strange. Fuck off with your bullshit circles.
We got more Teenage Groot.
Yeah.
We got more Guardians flying in. We got more Thor. We got Cap with his new shield.
Yeah, one thing, I wasn't feeling the shields at all. I think they look stupid.
I feel like it's just some temporary Wakandan tech. Yeah. Because it does look like the shape is very African. for a shield.
But I didn't like it, man, at all. Like, firstly, what's wrong with his fucking shield? His proper shield. Where's the logo? Well, I know he tossed it. But he tossed a shield, but did he not have another one?
No.
Well, I'm also thinking of the shield that he had at times.
But look, let's be honest.
He's had electronic shields at times as well.
He has. Look, he's in Wakanda, the home of vibranium. Surely he's going to pick up a new cap-inspired
Give me your honest opinion. What did you think of the double shields that look like wood almost to me? I thought it looked fucking lame, actually, personally.
I think they're trying to push away from the Stars and Spanner, the Star Spangled Banner cap.
Oh, because he's like Nomad. He's like a
they're going into this Nomad kind of storyline.
Okay,
where he feels betrayed by his country. He's still very patriotic, but he's not.
Yeah.
Like, cover myself in the flag patriotic anymore.
Which is a classic Cap storyline.
It is, yeah.
A couple of times he's kind of...
It won't last. I don't think we should worry that he's never going to get a shield again.
I'm not worried. I just meant visually more than anything. I thought it would have looked cool to have the electronic versions. You know, how they sort of come out of his...
He may still have them. Like, we've only seen a tiny clip in the trailer. I actually didn't mind the shields.
Okay. Apparently it got revealed in Lego, as usual.
Lego's on top of the...
I love Lego.
They're so far in front of the rest of the world.
But, like, so many spoilers come out of Lego toys, because just before this trailer, the Lego toy had been released, and people were going fucking nuts about it, because the Lego toy must have had the shields.
Yeah.
It is funny, isn't it? Like, they don't give a fuck about, like, keeping secrets. They're like, here are the new toys for the movie coming out in 6 months. We don't care.
But they've done this with pretty much every Marvel movie.
They do it all the time. Many movies, Star Wars, all sorts of things. Star Wars fans are obsessive. They go through all the Lego stuff because they get all the new vehicles.
Everyone does now. Lego's so far in front of the game.
We need to get a job or a sponsorship with Lego. I'm just putting that out there. Another great idea from me.
This is actually a great idea, Dave. I love this one.
Thank you. Note it down because I'll forget it.
Yeah, I'll write down become corporate juggernauts, shall I? Yeah.
Corporate juggernauts. Imagine Lego versions of us behind little microphones. I'd be like I can imagine a little ranter, little cap on. Dave the Ranter.
Yeah.
The lowest selling Lego figures ever.
Of all time, yeah.
Our families buy them, Stu. Now, what else did Avengers Infinity War shoot? Because there was a lot to break down in a short period of time. That awesome thing of Spider-Man. Is he on a rocket ship or is he on those weird things that were in the sky?
He's on that weird kind of portal-looking... thing, which I said before was a spaceship, and you're like, no, it's a portal, dude. It's not a spaceship, it's a portal.
Well,
and now it's flying into space.
Starting to look more like a spaceship.
It's starting to look a lot like a spaceship.
Why did it say it was a portal?
I don't know.
Because doesn't Thanos step through one or something?
He steps through like a little portal that he made, but it's not like a mechanical one.
Well, that was my confusion.
His, I think, was made by the Gems.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, we see Peter Parker riding on this thing, flying into space.
Which is cool.
Rips off the helmet. Yeah. Rips off the mask. We see a little bit more of Black Widow.
Yeah, she's
running around Wakanda with the blonde hair. Looks cool.
It looked very good, yeah, for sure. Any Hulk? Was there any Hulk in the trailer?
No, I don't remember seeing any Hulk. We did see a bit of Wanda kind of playing around with the gem.
In Vision's head.
Vision's forehead.
Yep. Which, from the other trailer, you saw one of the Black Order rip out of him, yeah?
Yeah, we saw Corvus Glaive rip it out of his head.
I liked it. That's a professional over there, Stu. Always willing to name Black Order. Always got the Black Order down.
It's a very, very small skill, but I'm happy to
the murder board in Stu's house, I'd just love to see. He's got all the dots connected. I still don't know where these fucking gems are. Stu, Avengers Infinity War, I think any scrap you can have, people are excited for, and I'm pumped. By the way, Stu, have you got your tickets to Black Panther? I bought my tickets with Michelle for next week.
Yeah, I've got some early review tickets. So
are you again in the fucking press box or wherever you are against you, like sitting with Hugh Jackman or something? Like, Jesus
That's
Christ.
it. I'm saying
no invite for Defend. Nothing. Just Stu and Hugh. just
me and Hugh. Just chilling.
You're sharing popcorn, Stu? I mean, it's just lovely.
Yeah.
It's just lovely. And Hugh, we are available as well.
So, aggressively available.
Very fun. I'll stop my interviews with, the internet idiots to do a proper one with you. I'm going from crisis point to crisis point, but I'll actually have an interview with, a sane superstar.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to go off. Now, Stu, we've only barely begun. So, I mean, I gave that trailer like 10 out of 10. It's just... Oh, that's what I meant to ask. In Black Panther, do you think there'll be A, ties to the wider story, and B, post-credit scenes which build up Infinity War even more?
There are 2 post-credit scenes in Black Panther. That's been confirmed.
Okay.
Everyone's assuming that at least one of them is Infinity-related.
Sure.
Or Thanos-related.
Yeah. Thanos looks badass in this trailer, too, when he just turns around.
Potentially the other one is Ant-Man and Wasp one.
Sure. Which is
just because that's the next
before
movie.
Infinity War. It's both, everyone thinks it's going to be straight after Civil War. That's the speculation.
Oh, the setting?
Yes.
Yeah, potentially. We're not 100% sure when it's set. We know there's flashbacks to Civil War, so it's after that. But I don't think it's after...
This big sort of shadow
Avengers.
Event. Yeah.
So there could be a little... post-credit thing to that. We could get a Brie Larson little teaser. I don't know.
Do you think she'll turn up in Infinity War, Stu?
I don't think so. I think she's in Avengers 4, not 3.
All right. And her movie comes out before Avengers 4, doesn't it?
Yeah, it comes out between the 2.
I'm looking forward to that. I just... Not because I'm this huge Captain Marvel fan, like I'm open to her, but I just think it's a lot of story potential. There's a lot of interesting stuff they can do with that. With that movie. Dude, I'm so ready for next week, man. This Black Panther is starting to get me I'm getting real jazzed about it. And
the reviews that are coming out are just so positive.
So far I haven't watched any spoilers. I haven't done anything. I haven't even looked up if there's mid-credit scenes or anything. I've been really good actually this week.
I looked up whether there were post-credit scenes, and then that was it.
Good for you,
that'll do me.
I mean, you and Hugh Jackman will have a good time, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I always do with you.
Exactly. Now, Stu, Skyscraper, The Rock.
The new Rock action flick looks very San Andreas-y.
Yeah, yes, it does look very San Andreas.
Except this time he's got a fake leg. He's got a little prosthetic leg going on.
Oh my god!
On the left-hand side, this is
How rich is The Rock by this point? Like Christ, he's been a lot.
Was he the highest earning star last year?
I think so.
No, he behind Wahlberg, I think. Because he doesn't have a Wahlburgers. That's why.
God, it must be a close thing between
The Rock needs to buy like a Hard Rock franchise, rock it up a bit.
The Wahlberg Burgers thing.
Wahlburgers is going. He needs a Hard Rock or something, like a Hard Rock Cafe, maybe. I don't know.
I still laugh thinking about how Mark Wahlberg ground out for the pay rise on that fucking film, whatever it was called, and then everyone's crying Paul for Michelle Williams, and he just gives it back. He's like,
he just gives the whole thing
away. It's not
away.
fucking worth the grief I'm copping for this.
I like that now he gets to look like a good guy, like a hero.
Yeah, exactly. It was so funny. It was so funny that was a scandal for 5 seconds, wasn't it, Stu? Like, Mark Wahlberg, suddenly he was supposed to be doing it all for charity. Like, a guy who's well known for just pumping out movies.
Yeah. He had no intention of going to charity. He just wanted cash. And then everyone's like, oh, you're taking money from Michelle Williamson? He's like, fine, I'll give it away because I'm the best guy ever. Yeah. And everyone was like applauding Wahlberg.
I know, it was hilarious. Now,
so, Skyscraper, blockbuster.
Will you see that at the cinema?
Probably not. I didn't see San Andreas at the cinema.
No, I didn't either. But we put it on.
I waited until I could stream it, and then I streamed it.
I sort of feel bad for not watching Jumanji, because I know Michelle has said she wants to wait for it, but I think she wanted to see it, really. I haven't seen that at the cinema. I reckon that will be pretty good fun. Yeah. I think The Rock is a very entertaining guy, I find. He's very likeable.
Absolutely. So I've heard it described as kind of a little bit of a modern-day Die Hard.
Cool.
Terrorist kind of attack. He's in a skyscraper. He saves a bunch of people.
Sure. And meanwhile, the skyscraper's falling down, it looks like, from the...
I think so.
Yeah, the skyscraper was very towering.
It looks like the perfect kind of action popcorn...
Yeah.
Blockbuster movie.
Well, dude, I mean, mixing Die Hard with Towering Inferno is actually a pretty neat sort of movie idea, really.
For sure.
I mean, it's I'm sure that's how they pitched it as well. That's what it looks like from the trailer. Now, Stu, Mission Impossible 6, I thought this was one of their best trailers. I really fucking dug it, man.
This came out of nowhere for me as well. We also finally got to see the moustache gate come to fruition.
And look good too.
Oh, he's got a good moustache, doesn't he?
Henry Cavill looked really good. Apparently he's playing like the villain in this.
Yeah.
You saw Tom Cruise, you saw the accident where he broke his ankle, actually included in the trailer.
Yeah.
He pulls off some intense stunts, doesn't he? And he's like 55, man.
He does a lot of his own stunt work, and it's seriously impressive.
And you wince when you watch that one, because you see his ankle slam in. Apparently he was on the Graham Norton show, and that was, seriously, that's how he broke the ankle.
Yeah.
It was that thing, and it looks bad too. You watch it, you're like, oh, man, he's nowhere near making it. When you watch it, I was like, Tom, you're like Fuck. You didn't just miss. Like,
Yeah,
he's like, Jesus Christ.
I mean, you know why it's the best take? Like, that's real.
Yeah.
He's not acting in that one. That's real.
And I mean, at that age too, when you start breaking ankles and stuff, that can really... it doesn't heal. It's like it used
Not
to.
as quick, no.
Not
But he's
at all.
back on his feet and...
Yeah, he's a consummate professional, Tom Cruise. I've got a lot of time for him, and I love the Mission Impossible franchise. I mean, 2 is not good, but I've really enjoyed all the later ones they've done, and I will see them in the cinema. I really dig the franchise. I think that it's got money making all over it. They've made a lot of money too. These Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah.
Ever since Rogue Nation and Ghost Protocol. What's this one called? What's it called? Fallout or something? Is it? I think it's Mission Impossible.
Fallout, yeah.
Fallout, yeah. Cool titles. Now, Jurassic World 2, Stu, also had a trailer. I only just watched it before the show. I was not blown away by the first trailer. This one did look better, and it looked pretty much like a popcorn Jurassic World movie that I would expect. I thought this one looked better.
So did I. This one was a much better Jurassic trailer.
Yeah. Do you think that this movie... I mean... When I say it looked better, I still think it looked pretty generic and pretty sort of predictable. Did you think it'll do the kind of numbers that Jurassic World took, which broke serious money?
See, I think Jurassic World did way more than people were expecting it to.
No one expected to do those numbers.
Like, they always knew it was going to be big, but not that big.
Yeah.
I think this is...
It outperformed Age of Ultron, man.
Yeah, it did. I feel like they're actually starting to pay off the dumb choices they made in the first one.
Yeah.
And turn them into smarter moves. So I think everyone universally agrees that Indominus Rex was one of the dumbest things.
I hate it so much, Stu, like, frankly.
It wasn't good, right?
It's stupid, yeah.
But now what they're saying is they've been genetically experimenting with dinosaurs, and they've made a bunch of these abominations. Mm-hmm. The Indominus Rex was one of them that they put on show. Mm-hmm. But they've made another couple of terrifying, nightmarish
What do you
dinosaurs.
think of the idea that I've heard sort of mentioned around over the last week, that where this is headed is kind of like a War for the Planet of the Apes kind of thing, where the dinosaurs take over? Like, that actually sounds interesting to me, but it just seems like they don't do that at all. It's always the same story.
Look, I doubt they're going to get there. I think
it's always you're on the island, then you have to escape the island, and maybe one dinosaur gets to the fucking city. That's what normally happens.
Yeah, I think the reason is these dinosaurs have never been portrayed as smart enough to work together.
Yeah.
Other than, like, the raptors that hunt in packs.
Yeah.
The rest, but the raptors don't work with anyone else. All the dinosaurs don't communicate. They're not smart enough.
And frankly, it would be fucking stupid if they did. I would hate it.
It doesn't sound like
if the dinosaurs start talking to each other, I'm fucking out.
No, yeah, exactly. Right.
Like, seriously, if they start doing, like, even noises to each other and suddenly they're all best friends and they just hate the humans, I'll be like, this is getting fucking lame.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like,
look, I thought this one it started to pay off dumb decisions.
Yeah.
The whole island dying, it didn't feel like such a bad idea anymore.
No.
Look, it's starting to grow on me.
Will you go to the cinema? Will you spend your hard earned? I'm putting the question to you, Stu.
Probably, yeah.
I probably will too. I will. Out of these movies, 100% Solo on Avengers. Like, not even a question mark. Obviously,
yep,
I said Mission Impossible 6, yes. Jurassic World 2. It's a soft yes. You know what I mean? It's a soft yes in the cinema for me. For some reason, I just don't feel that, like, I don't know. I wasn't overwhelmed by Jurassic World, and when I watched this trailer, I'm sort of like, it's okay, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Look, for me, it was a step up from the previous Jurassic World trailer.
Definitely.
So they're heading in the right direction. Maybe this movie's going to be alright after all.
I'll be interested to see how it goes too. We've got a lot of competition this year. There's a lot of competition.
There's a lot of great movies this year.
A lot of stuff grabbing for people's attention, you know.
Yeah.
And the same kind of dollar. Like, the same person who spends on Jurassic World is into the Avengers movies, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And Solo. Like, it's a lot of the same dollars that are being chased. Now, Stu, this was interesting. The Cloverfield Paradox got announced with the Super Bowl trailer and was instantly on Netflix. Yeah,
this was
a new model sort of thing, really.
I'm kind of on the fence about whether this was genius or whether this didn't work for Netflix. So, Netflix released this trailer worldwide when it came out at the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And then within the same minute, it was available on Netflix worldwide, in every version of Netflix.
I think as an idea, it's kind of cool. Like, outside of whatever this movie's like, I kind of dug it. Like, you know.
I like the idea that, like, literally no one had any clue this was dropping just then.
Yeah.
We'd never seen any trailers, any promotional stuff. The whole world hits massive trailer and the thing drops at the same time.
A lot of eyeballs on it.
Oh, yeah, and it took over. People were talking about it.
And everyone else is going, Solo comes out in 3 months, Avengers in 3.5. This is out now. You go watch it now, kids.
Yeah. The reason I'm kind of hesitant about saying it's brilliant is that they had just released another one of their big TV shows, Altered Carbon.
Yes, true.
With a very, very similar audience base.
And it looks expensive.
And people are saying it is the most expensive TV show ever.
It is dripping with money, that show.
The sets, the actors are incredible. I've seen the first 6 episodes.
Okay, all right.
Out of 10.
One. Okay.
It's stunning.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. That came out on the Friday.
Sure.
And that was, like, that cost them a lot of money.
Yeah.
And everyone was talking about it on the Friday.
It looks
Saturday.
like Blade Runner or something to me. It looks amazing.
Yeah, exactly. But literally 2 days later, Cloverfield, and it takes over, and everything's Cloverfield now.
Yeah, okay. So you think they're kind of
I feel like
competing against themselves?
Yeah, cannibalised their own market there.
Yeah, true. Interesting. It'd be. I mean, only Netflix know the numbers of what people watch, and they always say, like, "Oh, the Adam Sandler movie is the most watched things in history," and you're like, "Really? Okay."
Look, it doesn't surprise me that people are clicking on it, going, "I've heard this is garbage. Let me have a look." It's free now. That, like, I've subscribed, so everything appears free.
We'll watch it. Like,
yeah.
You got your
look, I feel like it might have been a smarter done thing to give maybe a week notice, and said, "Here's the trailer for Cloverfield Paradox." It comes out 1 week.
What do you think, though, of this model in general? Like, because I think this will become how it's done. I think you'll get, in the end, Marvel product. Like, with the Netflix shows, the Punisher shows and all that, they're actually very secretive of the date, and then they suddenly release it. Like, they don't do the giant leading when they go, it's coming out in September 13.
They do. They do trailers for those. Like, we did a whole thing on the Netflix trailers for The Punisher, and how the trailer date and the release date were put back
redacted
after
and all that, yeah. Oh yeah, with
after the mass shooting event, and like there was some lead up.
But they do it. What I'm saying is they still do a version of like almost stunt casting, or they sort of, when they confirm it's coming out, it's only just before it comes out. Like it's only within like a week.
You know, we got trailers like a month or two out.
No, I'm talking about when they announce the release date. Because they are often doing the trailers for the Netflix shows, but don't announce the release date. They still like to play games with the audience a bit.
There's normally about a month.
Okay.
Between them saying when it comes out and then actually...
But what do you... I think this could become a well-known model where they do a trailer and you're like, man, that Star Wars show looks awesome, and then it's just out. Bang.
I don't know if instant works. I honestly feel that even a day or two might help them. For simple reasons, like the Super Bowl is huge in the States.
Yeah.
But in Australia, it's like midday on a Monday here.
Yes, very true.
So most of us aren't sitting down watching the game live.
No. It's on, but
it is on.
Monitoring the results while you're at work.
Most of us are at work or at school or whatever we're doing.
If you're right in the game in terms of cash, you might be following the results quite closely.
Exactly. The other thing is we don't get the same ads.
I was going to ask that. I was like, yeah, we don't, do we?
No, America gets all the Super Bowl ads.
Yeah.
We can look them up online if we're keen. All these trailers we've obviously gone and looked
They
up.
all get released on the internet pretty much instantaneously.
Yeah, but we don't get the same ads in Australia. We don't get the same ads in other countries.
Yeah.
So the whole put it on, advertise it during one of the biggest ratings times of all time, and then throw it on Netflix. We don't get that. We just see it on Netflix pop up.
And Netflix is international, and all that original Netflix content is on every single Netflix around the world. And I get what you're saying. You're saying the buy-in ad for most regions don't even get it. It's just on.
I mean, that ad is an American ad.
Yeah.
First and foremost, it's targeting the American market and other kind of adjacent markets.
Yep.
But we don't get that in a lot of other countries.
So, but I still like the idea of a massive trailer, even if it's just a day, and then release.
Exactly. I feel like a day or two is kind of a good
because sometimes I see trailers and I'm so
campaign.
pumped to see it, but when the movie comes out like 3-4 months later, I'm sort of like, yeah.
Yeah, so typically now with movies, it's a 6-month lead-in.
Sure.
We get our first trailer 6 months out.
Okay.
It's actually rare for something like Solo to show up this late.
And people are making a big fucking deal about that as well. Like,
we're 3 months out, and we've hit our first trailer.
There's almost a little bit of panic at times, in the audience. Like, oh my god, like Ron Howard doesn't know what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
Look, to be honest, a lot of these movies will put out 3 unique trailers, spaced out. The last one normally comes out within a month of the movie, to kind of get that hype going again.
Yes, yeah. As you lead in, you even see TV spots and like that last week.
Exactly. So that last trailer will be spammed over everything.
Yeah. Do you like to avoid those last TV spots? Because I find that you start to see too much of the film at times.
Occasionally, yeah. And I think that's where this model works.
Yeah.
You see exactly how much they think you should to get hooked and to try it.
There's a lot of people who are like, they don't watch any trailers. They like to come in completely fresh.
Look, yes and no. For me, trailers are still the best way for me to know if I'm going to watch it or not.
Yeah, I enjoy trailers. Like, we're fucking... With the Avengers trailers, I'm all over them.
I think the only problem now for me is that when I see a movie that hasn't, been part of the series, it's not a follow, it's not a sequel or a prequel.
An original film. A rare thing these days.
Which is rare. I'm less likely to see it if I haven't got a trailer.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, it's more and more difficult for basically original content to succeed in today's environment in terms of in cinemas.
Yeah, exactly.
Just due to the preponderance of blockbusters and franchise films, it is just harder.
I think it's no more obvious than when you look at like the list of Best Picture nominees at the Oscars. Mm-hmm. All of them are original films, and if you read the list to most people, they might know 2 or 3 of them.
Sure,
but I don't know anyone that knows all of them.
No, I'm going to make an effort to watch them. I'm going to watch The Post, and I'm going to watch Darkest Hour. Looking forward to watching them. But you're right. Like, it's not on the... They're not on the, tips everyone's lips around the world.
No, exactly.
Like, it's just a different marketplace at the moment. Now, Stu, what's this you've got about A Quiet Place? Did this have a trailer as well? A zombie movie?
It did. The first trailer for A Quiet Place. So it's basically it's a zombie flick.
Okay.
Emily Blunt's lead actress.
Is Emily Blunt the girl from Edge of Tomorrow?
Yes.
I like her.
And her husband, John Krasinski's in it.
Okay.
He was in The Office, probably his most famous role.
Okay, the US Office.
The US version.
Okay.
It looked like a high thriller...
I'm interested. I love zombie movies, dude.
Flick. Looks pretty cool.
A good zombie movie goes a long way with me.
Yeah. So this is one of the very few original movies that shows up. Excellent. Super Bowl spot.
Now, I also like the next one, though, Red Sparrow. Everyone's saying basically it's Black Widow and played by Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence as a Russian spy, kind of converted.
Looked a bit like Salt as well, the Angelina Jolie movie.
I'm kind of struggling with her accent.
Oh, it's not good. I know we both said it. We both said that's a pretty dodgy Russian accent.
Yeah.
It looked like the Russian accent like you or I would do, Stu.
It's like one of the ones you expect on an ad where a meerkat's used. Like, that's the kind of quality.
Very broad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So that wasn't great to see more of it.
Sometimes you do cringe a little bit when actors do accents. Some actors don't.
Some actors can pull it off.
Yeah, but not everyone's Daniel Day-Lewis.
You know? Yeah, exactly. Not everyone is.
I like Tom Cruise just does his American accent. Like, he's like, fuck it, I'm not doing an accent. Like when you see Valkyrie, he's just Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And I don't know, when she did the accent, I quite like Jennifer Lawrence. I was like, yeah, okay.
For me, typically American actors tend to be better at different dialects within America.
Sure.
So they can do a heavy Southern accent without a problem. But when they start doing European accents...
Does Scarlett Johansson do an accent for Black Widow? Not really.
No, she doesn't.
No.
Not at all.
But this really looked like Black Widow, the movie. Like, it did look very like what a Black Widow movie would look like.
Yeah, exactly. So female Russian assassin spy kind of...
All stuff I'm interested in.
Thriller movie. It sounds great on paper.
Well, I mean, look, and it looked alright too. Like, I can forgive the accent if the movie's good, frankly.
See, for me, it goes the other way. I will burn a good movie if the accent's bad because it just keeps repeating and repeating.
Yeah, no, I understand. Well, it's part of the performance.
So I'm in the other camp. I actually avoided...
So you won't be seeing this in cinemas?
Probably not, no.
It's a maybe for me. I'm not
if the reviews are amazing, then
yes,
I'll stream it maybe, but I doubt I'll see it in cinema.
Okay, see, if the reviews are amazing, you'll probably find me in there. But if it's just like, if it's like a bomb, no way, I won't go near it.
Yeah.
And she certainly has put out a fair share of bombs too, because she's pumping out a lot of films at the moment.
Yeah, she is.
Jennifer Lawrence. Did you watch Passengers with Chris Pratt?
I did watch that.
I thought it was okay. It was interesting. Like, we enjoyed it. It wasn't great, but I was like, this is not too bad.
Yeah, B- for me, middle of the range.
I think that's about right. Was it just you and Hugh again? Like,
it could have been. The cinema was basically empty at this point.
I was going to say, like, quite the intimate date you've got going. Now, the Dundee ad/trailer I love, Stu. I thought this was great.
So this popped up on our show 2 weeks ago when the first
trailer
came up.
As usual, we were breaking the news.
When the first trailer came up and we fell for it hook, line and sinker, just like they wanted us to.
I got very excited.
You pitched to me this idea that we'd have a new Crocodile Dundee.
Played by Danny McBride.
Which
I was 100% down for.
And we saw a cameo from every major Australian actor, apparently.
That started to give it away a little bit when they did that trailer where you had, like, Hugh playing the Prime Minister and Russell Crowe was playing the newspaper
Rusty
magnate.
playing the...
Ruby Rose was terrible. Did you see?
She's always terrible.
Oh, like
Isla Fisher was in there. Both Hemsworths.
Yeah.
People remember her in there.
Yeah.
And then we get the second half to that during the Super Bowl, where Danny McBride clicks halfway through that this isn't a movie and it's a tourism ad for Australia.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good.
I thought it was excellent. Yeah, you saw Paul Hogan in there.
You saw the original Dundee. You saw Hogs.
And rightly so.
Yeah, having a beer as well.
Solved his tax problems from several years ago. Avoided jail. Just settled them. Was quite a feat getting out of that. No, I really. I mean, it's an ad for Australia. I mean, we're an ad for Australia in a lot of ways, Stu. The Signal.
Yeah, in a lot of ways we are.
A lot of ways we are, and we're 100% behind our country. Now, so come visit Australia. Kids. Now, Stu, you are the Westward guy over there. I've got to be honest. Michelle and I have watched one episode and I fell asleep. Looked good, though, but I fell asleep. I was watching it late at night.
Westworld, for me, was the best TV show of last year.
Bang, it's a big time, Stu.
I think it edged out Legion.
Okay.
Not by a lot.
Legion was very good.
I enjoyed this almost... I would enjoy this more than Game of Thrones.
Wow.
And that was kind of a surprise for me.
Okay. So, and basically you must be pumped for season 2 then?
Yeah, so they announced season 2 is coming out April 22, I think. We saw a little bit of Samurai World. We saw the Breakout. We saw this aftermath from the massive cliffhanger at the end of season 1.
Okay. So does it have the different worlds? It has all the different worlds in Westworld?
Yeah.
Oh, and it does them in the show?
So Westworld... We watching the first season, we were led to believe that Westworld was the only thing there was.
Yeah, but if you've seen the movies, you know that there's other worlds.
Well, yeah. So in the final episode or 2, we realised that it's one of many theme parks.
Yeah.
And they show you like a logo of Samurai World.
Awesome.
And we do see glimpses of Samurai in the trailer, which look just awesome.
Would you describe it as... It looked fairly serious from the first one. Is there some humour in there at all?
No, there's not a lot of humour.
No, it looked pretty dark to me.
It is dark. It's kind of like a dark murder mystery almost.
Okay.
Not quite a noir type setting, but it is serious. It's got a lot of action. It's got Anthony Hopkins is in it, and he's incredible.
Very good actor.
It's got an amazing cast.
Okay, it's got Ed Harris too, doesn't it?
Yeah, Ed Harris is playing one of the leads.
Excellent actor. I've always enjoyed his work.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's something to watch, and probably something for me to catch up on, because I don't think it's 1 million episodes. I think it's only about a 12-episode series, isn't it? Something like that?
I think it's a 10 or 12, an hour long each.
Cool. It's HBO, isn't it?
It is HBO.
Excellent. Now, Stu, so that's a lot of trailers that came out, and we've sort of marked...
that was the 10 that showed up during the Super Bowl.
Exactly, and then we had the next day we had the Han Solo thing come out.
We had the proper Solo Star Wars story come out. We also had another 2 trailers that have shown up this week.
Yes, and one of them is probably my favourite, which is the Deadpool 2 trailer.
Yeah, an almost perfect Deadpool trailer.
I thought it was fantastic. I can take listeners through this. I can come out of my flu haze. Basically, you get to see Josh Brolin from the beginning doing a kind of Terminator-style monologue. Yeah. Like, I was bred for war. Born in it, like that kind of style. And then he's moving along, and I was like, man, this is badass. This is Cable. And then you see his arm, and it's just painted.
He's wearing like a green sleeve.
Yeah. And then Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds cuts over the top, and I'll do it myself. Then he's playing just with the figures of Deadpool and Cable. I thought the humour in this, and then it cuts to an amazing amount of stuff in the Deadpool movie. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
Like the snapshots from like Negasonic Teenage Warhead. You see some people are saying that's X-Force coming down in the carrier with Deadpool there, and you see various people behind. And then you see Cable when he's talking to Deadpool and Blind Owl. And then when he's like, what does he say? Game's over, you fuck, or something like that. And Deadpool's like, well, that's just lazy writing. I'm so excited for Deadpool 2, and I thought this was a great trailer.
Yeah, it's got all the hallmarks of Deadpool. It's got vulgar humour, it's got slapstick comedy, and it's got some amazing fourth wall breaking writing in there.
Stu, when this trailer came off, I was basically really quite ill, and I got to lunch and I put on the original Deadpool and watched like the first half of it, just chilling out. I was just like, just take me back to that world. I just love it so much. And I always felt with the movie, I was almost a bit blown away by how well it was doing. It almost felt surreal to me. I was so surprised by the box office on the original Deadpool. I just didn't. I
think everyone was.
Yeah, I just couldn't. I love Deadpool so much, and it was such a good movie. And just to see people,
Deadpool is such a wacky property.
Yeah,
that no one expected the movie to be able to capture that properly.
No, and then
it did.
The audience defined it as well. That it did,
but it did. It did justice to Deadpool as a comic book.
Yeah,
which is so rare. In
and we've read hundreds of Deadpools comics, haven't we, Stu? You and
we
I
have, yeah.
And like with Deadpool, you always give a lot of leeway to the creators because he's such a flexible character.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad Ryan Reynolds is so behind all this because he is driving the bus. You can tell.
Oh yeah, he is.
This looks great, and honestly, this is. I mean, I'm seeing this multiple times. I don't give. This has got my money. I'm giving this trailer a 10 out of 10. It's my favourite of all the trailers, and that's closely followed by Solo and Infinity War, which I also thought were brilliant trailers.
Yeah.
I thought it was amazing. Now, Stu, the other trailer was Venom, which came
we got
out
our first
today.
little trailer for Venom with Tom Hardy. For me, the only thing that I found surprising was we never actually saw Venom.
No, you saw nothing. You saw a little bit of black crawling up his...
we saw a tiny bit of the symbiote
veins.
in like a jar.
That looked cool.
Container sort of thing.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of Tom Hardy kind of freaking out, and he sounds pretty cool. I actually like the accent that he's putting on.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Tom Hardy is an incredible actor.
You just hope that he's not just doing it for the money and it's not just a really shit film. Like,
I honestly don't think so. I think he seems to be as enthusiastic for this role as I've seen him.
Well, I mean,
he's showing up at Comic-Cons, he's doing all the right things.
If it hits, man, it's got, with Spider-Verse and everything, it's got a lot of potential.
Yeah, you've got a few movies you can roll in.
I'm going to make a comment. I'm going to go and see, I'm going to support Venom in cinema along with Silver and Black as well. I'm going to support the Spider-Verse in cinema, no matter what the reviews say. And we'll see. I'm going to take a stand.
I think that's a pretty...
It's time to take a fucking stand.
I think it's a pretty obvious stand from people that are on a comic book podcast.
I'm wearing a Spider-Man hat.
You're like, yeah.
And a Wolverine t-shirt.
Yeah.
Do you like my brand?
You've got Spider-Man behind you on a giant poster. And you're like,
but still,
you know what? I'm going to sacrifice my own time and go and watch this.
But I'm taking a fucking stand here that I'm supporting the franchise.
Let's be honest, we were going to do that anyway, Dave.
Yeah, okay. But still.
We've seen every Spider-Man movie in cinemas so far. Let's not...
I certainly have.
Yeah, let's not pretend we're mastering.
I saw the Spider-Man fucking show, dude, when I was in 1980 or whatever it was, when I was a little kid. And it is aged so poorly, but at the time as a kid, it just amazed me, Stu. I was like, man, this Spider-Man's the real deal. And everyone around me was going, it looked really shit. I'm like, no, it looked really awesome. What are you talking about? So put that on the public record that David and Stu are seeing Venom. I am available for Hugh if he wants to +1 me in.
I'll let him know.
Till date. I'll come in wearing my Wolverine shirt. Does he do autographs, Stu? During?
Sure.
Like dedications?
You're pushing it a bit, Dave. Yeah.
Now, here's a piece of news, Stu, that I just know you're excited for.
Oh, so
the rumours come out, Michael Bay is being eyed to direct a Lobo movie for DC. I actually think this is a really smart idea. These
are two properties I don't want anymore.
Well,
I think Michael Bay has passed whatever prime he had.
Well, he has had a long prime commercially.
Commercially, yeah. Critically, never.
No.
He hasn't made a good movie for a long time now.
Well, yeah, I mean, did he direct the first Transformers?
He did, and I was about to say that was probably the last movie of his that I enjoyed.
Yeah. But a lot of his movies have made money. A lot.
Oh, they've all made money.
A lot of money.
Like, no doubt Michael Bay has made a lot of money.
And he's exited the Transformers franchise. Now he's just a producer. And the box office was diminishing, even worldwide, on the last Transformer movie.
Well, yeah, he made like 5 in a row, and they just got worse and worse.
Yeah. No, I'm not debating it.
I don't think he's at the height of his powers anymore.
But I think this marriage of Lobo, who is very much, I would say, a C-D-list character.
Oh, yeah.
But he's like a walking cliche, meets Michael Bay, who does broad and big. I kind of see the marriage there. I actually see there's a little bit of symbiosis here.
See, if I had to have a Lobo movie... It would be a very small indie-esque time
directed by Martin Scorsese or something, Stu? Like, what are you after?
No, well, I'm thinking more along the lines of what Deadpool had.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
In that it didn't have a massive budget. It didn't have
they worked with
huge directors working behind... No one on that project, other than Ryan Reynolds, was a massive name.
Oh, no.
Didn't have a massive budget. Didn't expect huge things. Turned out amazingly well.
Yes.
That's what I think Lobo needs more than anything else.
Oh, Lobo needs to be crass and he needs to be outrated.
And I don't think that works with like a PG or an M rating. I think it needs to go higher than that.
You know who wrote the best Lobo was Alan Grant, the 2000 AD Batman writer. Very, very gifted writer. And he wrote it as a satire. And people were just treating it so seriously and he was amazed.
Yeah.
Like it was a satire, how he did it.
And I think that's how it's got to be done. Like it's...
Yeah, I agree. You sort of want that sort of fourth wall breaking.
I think Michael Bay is known for his like PG blockbuster action
popcorn and a Coke.
Like he wants big explosions and he wants everybody to buy a ticket.
Yeah.
Lobo doesn't want those things.
Yeah, I mean...
These two properties, I don't think mesh.
I'd be interested because, to me, it sounds like it's going to be really expensive and nobody outside of hardcore comic book sweaties knows who Lobo is.
Lobo was a brief flash in the pan in the 90s.
He was a 90s guy.
Yeah.
But even then, it was your hardcore comic book nerds.
Yeah.
Like, I'm being honest, who bought him, you know? He wasn't a crossover appeal guy.
Look, until doing The Signal, I'd never heard of Lobo.
Yeah. I'd heard of... Because I was around... Because I'm older, but I wasn't buying the comics.
Yeah.
And I've read a couple since, and you know what, Stu? Because Alan Grant writes it, it's funny, but I've read Alan Grant that's a lot better, too. I've read a lot of them. Alan Grant's an amazing writer.
Yeah,
he wrote huge chunks of Judge Dredd, Strontium Dog, great Batman. Logo is kind of like, you can almost feel him just sort of like, almost cringing, I think, at times.
Yeah.
As the joke gets worn a little thin.
Yeah, and I feel like he got passed from writer to writer, and they didn't really know how to treat him.
Oh, I don't think there's any good Lobo outside of Alan Grant.
Yeah, exactly.
Like sort of stuff. Like
so it hasn't been done well, and I feel like you've got to be incredibly lucky to get a writing team that gets the level of satire needed.
Oh, they won't get someone. Like, they won't. Like, I don't even know. I think it's going to be one of those projects against hand to people who've never read a Lobo comic in their fucking life.
Exactly right. And you're putting him with Michael Bay, who just wants explosions
and he'll just be a big action guy making smarmy remarks.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, one thing I will say, though, like, to be honest, if DC are serious and are trying to launch these sort of standalone movies, I can see how they got there with that. We've got this character.
This is their... I think they're hoping for like a Deadpool.
Oh, they're definitely hoping for that, yeah.
But I just feel like they picked the wrong director.
But you could have him like,
and I don't think it's the right time.
You could have him fighting Superman, all that kind of stuff. You can throw Lobo because he's so strong. He's kind of indestructible. You can throw him into crazy situations.
Look, I just for me it's the wrong director, and it's certainly the wrong time.
Sure,
I think DC. They're all over the place right now.
They are definitely.
They need to build a solid foundation.
There's almost no game plan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So throwing Lobo into the mix early on,
random card.
I feel like it's a bit too early to play a wild card like that.
Where are you on like fucking Captain Marvel versus Lobo? Like, I used to like Captain Marvel, but I'm not convinced that Shazam is going to like be this big kid. You know, like. Oh,
I doubt it very much.
Yeah,
depending
honestly,
on what version they do.
I could see Shazam bombing, frankly.
Yeah, so could I.
Like, really honestly could. I've actually got faith that Aquaman will make money. Not look, groundbreaking money.
I thought Shazam was going to make quite a bit of money because I was at some stage under the impression that they were having Black Adam in there and The Rock was going to be in it.
I think there's
and The Rock will almost always bring in money.
I think there's quite a likelihood he will be in this, Stu. I think they'd be fools not to do that.
I've got a funny feeling they're fools because I don't think he's going to be.
If they don't bring The Rock into Shazam,
I don't think idiots.
They're idiots. Then.
I think they've said it's a non-Rock.
Yeah.
Shazam.
Well, that's a mistake. A real mistake.
Yeah, that's
because again, like nothing against Shazam, good character, but he's not known like in the mass audience to a really enormous level. And they're like, oh, we're going to bring Superman in. And it's like, Jesus Christ, okay, like Superman. What about the fucking Rock? like, he's in everything else. Like, I don't know, it really does feel like Warner's are just a bit adrift on this whole thing, aren't they?
They never really quite got it down.
And Lobo, I agree, Stu, it's such a random fucking card. And it's like, God, who's going to go see this? The 12 Lobo fans left? Like... It's not like Lobo has got this enormous... He's not Wolverine, you know. He's not... Wolverine's endured, you know, for 30, 40 years. Lobo was big in the 90s for about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And ever since, he's kind of just, again, been a CD lister. Like, you never see him. He doesn't... I always think if you can't support your own title... Like, really, if you can't support your own title, are you really a megastar? Even in comics. You're not, really. You're just a flash in the pan.
Look, saying that, a lot of massive hits have had titles that didn't last and then have come back.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, X-Men's probably the most obvious one.
But there's always been X-Men comics.
True, but it got cancelled early on.
Oh, of course, yes.
Like,
many years ago.
And then it came
back.
back.
A giant franchise.
Deadpool's been cancelled and come back.
Yeah.
Black Panther, cancelled several times,
but
come back.
Black Panther famously can't hold his own title. Famously. Like, nothing against Black Panther, he struggles to hold his own solo title.
True, but he's now got a solo movie and
which looks like it's going to be enormous. So, yeah, he's a good example of someone going against that.
Yeah.
But I don't think Lobo's going to do that, though.
No.
I really don't.
Absolutely don't.
And this is coming from you and I. I know you basically can't stand Lobo. I don't really like him that much either, but I just thought it was an interesting... It also sounds like it's rumours too. Like, Michael Bay's shopping around for a new deal now that he's like exiting the Transformers franchise. You know, he's kind of just making his feelings known.
Yeah.
I've got an interesting question for you, Stuart. It came up this week on a Collider I heard. What's the film or films you've seen the most in cinema? Do you know, like as in one movie that you've seen multiple times? Have you got one that you went and saw like multiple times? With all this talk of movies and stuff, I thought it'd be interesting to peek under the lid of Stuart. Anything Hugh and you have seen recently? Like
I have
2-3 viewings over a glass of wine. I like to. I hope the audience is enjoying. I always like to build up these dates you have with you, like these dinner dates.
Yeah, these imaginary dates. I think I saw Avengers, the first Avengers, maybe 5 times.
Okay,
in cinema.
Well, that's pretty good. That was big too.
And Force Awakens, I saw a few times as well.
Okay. What about Thor Ragnarok? I thought that'd be up there for you. You saw that a couple of times, didn't you?
I think it was a standard three times.
It's a standard 3. Did I see that with you once? Maybe
no,
not.
I don't think so.
That was Justice League I saw, where I was pestering you for spoilers before the movie started.
Yeah.
With my normal patience.
I don't know. With most of these comic book movies, I will see them 2 to 3 times.
I often see. I very rarely see a movie more than twice, but there was one exception to that rule. And that movie is Wolverine Origins.
And it's such a terrible movie.
I saw it 7 times in cinemas.
Oh, no.
And I'm famously cheap. Like, I very rarely see a film.
How many of those were vouchers that you then regretted?
I don't know, man. I really dug it, dude. I just really fucking dug it. I was very high on Wolverine at the time. There are reports, Stu, that Comcast has raised a high bid for Fox, and then reports that Disney have counterbid. Now, my money is on the mouse, Stu.
Yeah, I think everybody's money is on the mouse because the mouse has all money already.
Yeah, I know. It's just unlimited funds. But it's interesting that Comcast bid for that to get that whole the whole Fox library. Like, that's interesting because
I was under the impression that Disney had already made, like, Fox and Disney had already made that deal.
No, there must be a waiting period, and Comcast reportedly had bid higher, so the bidding was still open, and the Fox shareholders are like to consider it. This is all rumours, Stu. Like, it's coming out in the financial press over in the States. Like, so clearly, you know, the ink isn't dry on the deal, which has still got to pass regulators and everything. And I think the Comcast deal would have to pass regulators as well, because they're worried about monopoly. That's actually something I wanted to talk to you about. Although we on the Signal talk about this deal as like we really care about when we're talking about is the fact that you know, Marvel can do X-Men movies and Fantastic Four. Are you concerned about potential monopoly in movie making? Like, I know other people are. Is this something that worries you?
It's not something that worries me. Like,
doesn't really worry me at all. Like, am I supposed to fucking care? Like, like, really? Like, it's like, am I a fucking bad person? Because I'm like, do I want fucking Wolverine in the Avengers? Yes. And it's like, oh, but you're gonna, like, you know, it's gonna even not be like movie making. I'm like, isn't there already? Like, I don't really care. You know, I don't own stock in these companies. I wish I fucking did. Like, I wish I was a serious fucking shareholder right now at Fox getting bought out by fucking Disney. Or even better, like a massive Disney shareholder. I don't know, I find that whole thing where we're supposed to really care, Stu, especially in such a corporatised world that we live in. Like, we live in such a... If one huge corporation's not going to own them, another huge corporation will. So, what do I care? I don't know. That's my sort of... I sort of thought of that. I was like, we never really talk about the monopoly situation. I want to go to peek under the lid for you, Stu, to see where you were on it, but you seem totally untroubled by the whole thing.
Pretty much. Look, I'm reading into this Comcast potential deal that we've got going on here.
Sure.
So, Comcast is linked with AT&T.
Yep.
And AT&T are currently trying to merge with Time Warner.
Yes, and that's having significant... They're being sued by the Justice Department, I believe.
Yeah. So this deal would be on the proviso that merger goes ahead.
Right.
Currently, there is no deal on the table. They haven't bid. Sure. They haven't been outbid. Nothing's happened. They basically just said, if this deal goes through, we would consider bidding for Fox.
Right.
So basically what they're saying is, if we combine with Warner and have the other biggest movie studio behind us, then we would consider bidding for Fox. At the moment, the deal with Marvel is still going ahead. They're the only bidders in the market.
Yeah, I want the Disney deal.
Like, the story that you reported doesn't exist.
Well, the news came to me, Stu. It came to my desk. What can I tell you?
I'd suggest reading the article, Dave. Maybe.
I didn't do that, my friend.
Yeah, I didn't think you did. Yeah. So, they haven't raised the higher bid for Fox. They've said, if our merger goes ahead...
Yeah, it's pending a deal where they're fighting the Justice Department over the antitrust laws, blah, blah, blah. That's
so basically when they combine with Warner.
Yeah, which is what also Disney themselves are worried about. They're worried, actually, the regulators will look at the Disney-Fox deal as well. For the very things that we mentioned as well. Again, it's monopoly.
Yeah, Disney's been smart. They've already said, because of these antitrust laws, we don't want to touch your news, we don't want to touch your reality, we don't want to touch your sports... We only want your back catalogue of movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
I think they're likely to get that.
And the Disney streaming service will be a thing, Stu, and we'll be living in
Look, it would be an actual problem if Warner's does get it, because then effectively DC would own Spider-Man.
Yeah, that would be an interesting...
Which means we wouldn't see Spider-Man for a while.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. No, I don't think it's going to happen. I think you're right, Stu, over there. I think the in-depth research you're doing now is a credit to you, really. I mean, I didn't bother. Like, frankly, I was too worried about the monopoly situation.
You've been sick this week. You got to pass this week, Dave.
Thank you. I got some information. Did you see the Uma Thurman stuff came out about Kill Bill?
Vaguely, yeah.
Basically, what happened was, I didn't know this actually. During Kill Bill, she had a massive car accident where she reportedly was very nervous. She's not a great driver, and apparently she was very nervous about getting in this car. She'd been told that the car wasn't that great, etc. And she didn't want to do it. She wanted a stunt person to do the stunt. And Tarantino apparently was very insistent that she do it. And she had a massive accident, and the footage got released because he wouldn't release the footage. And he did release the footage to her. And it's quite graphic. And she wound up with like a bad neck and, you know, bad knees and stuff. Like, it was actually a really serious accident. Yeah. And it also tied into, like, sort of, not really related to this story, but related to Harvey Weinstein. He, no surprise, Stu, no shocker, he sexually assaulted her, reportedly. And
well, yeah, we've heard these before from Weinstein.
Yeah, exactly. And anyway, and there was also stuff about Tarantino. And I didn't know. I want to get your opinion on this. Apparently, in the shooting of Kill Bill, if there's some point at which I can't even remember it, but someone spat on a face in the movie, that was actually Tarantino who did that, and also choked it to get the scene. And there was
in the movie, I'm pretty sure it was Bill.
Yeah, but...
When she's lying on the floor in the church after she's been beaten to death, I think Bill spits on her.
Right. And in real life, that wasn't Karenine who spat on her, it was... Tarantino actually spat on her.
Actually, isn't there another scene where she gets spat on in the hospital? When
I don't think I remember, to be honest. At the beginning?
Yeah, when
Where the guy
she's
tries to rape her?
still paralysed in the hospital bed.
Yeah.
Basically in a coma.
I honestly don't really remember exactly when it is, but apparently that came out and caused a bit of controversy. I'm sort of a bit more like, I don't know, and he choked her as well, but in the terms of the movie, I don't know. Like, Stu, this is actors being actors and directors being directors. Like,
Look, for me, at the end of the day, as long as everyone is consenting, I think as far as the movie goes, there's not much that's off limits here.
Sure. But I'm not totally, like, I mean, Stu, I'm not going to boycott Tarantino movies. I'm not going to be a fucking hypocrite here.
No, he's still one of my favourite directors.
Oh, definitely.
He's made a hell of a lot of great movies, and we've said this multiple times on the show.
We love Tarantino. Yeah. He shouldn't have made her do the car stunt, though. Apparently.
No, exactly.
I think that was a director being a little bit crazy, which they do get. You know?
Yeah, and a lot of directors have that, where they want everything to be as authentic as possible.
A fucking lot.
And a lot of these actors, they're not stuntmen, they're not trained, they're not meant to be doing this sort of stuff.
That should have
that's
been
exactly why they have stunt doubles.
Yeah. It's a pretty sad story, really. Because it totally affected their relationship. Like, they were doing promos for it, and she was saying they were just a massively thin ice, you know?
Yeah.
Because, you know, a whole lot of stuff was going on behind the scenes. Now, Stu, breaking news this week. The Games of Thrones creators are writing a new Star Wars film series.
Yeah, so it came out that Dave and Dan, so David Benioff and D.B. Weiss,
right,
the two producers that have basically run Game of Thrones since Series 1.
Massive hit that it's been.
They've announced that as soon as Game of Thrones Season 8, the final season, wraps...
Is that the next season?
Yep.
Okay.
The final season, once that wraps, they will be moving on to do a trilogy of Star Wars films.
Have they given any sort of story, kind of like...
They've said it's nothing to do with the Skywalkers, and they've said it's separate to the trilogy that Rian Johnson is doing.
Okay, so there's going to be a lot of Star Wars.
So we will have the Star Wars kind of universe broken into 3 chunks or 3 times,
I'm
3 stories.
Happy for this.
I'm very happy to hear this. I think these guys have done amazing work with Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Is it TV shows as well, Stu? I thought there was reports that it was related to TV as well.
I didn't hear TV. I heard trilogy, which says to me that it's a...
When I say I heard it, I saw mention of it, like, you know, came across. I'm on a lot of fucking chat rooms, man.
Yeah, you're in a lot of chat rooms, a lot of pain meds, a lot of flu. It's all good things.
Is everybody in?
Yeah, okay.
It's about to begin.
Let's try to forget that about
The doors of perception, Stu, are wide open.
Actually, this week we also got word that Maisie Williams, who plays Arya Stark on Game of Thrones, came out and gave us a timeline for it, which we hadn't heard before. So we all expected Game of Thrones to show up this year. Season 7 was last year, we're all expecting it.
Yeah.
It's not showing up until about April 2019.
They're really dragging this out.
They delayed the filming of the last season, and it's filming up until December this year.
Okay.
Their reason is...
It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, their reason is they wanted 2 winters in the Northern Hemisphere because they have a lot of filming that needs to be done outside in the snow. Like, obviously, winter is here. They needed the outdoor.
Winter's finally fucking here. Actually,
I've got zero... I actually like this movie. I've got no problems with this at all.
Dude, do you remember the last scene where the undead dragon started to, like, cause a bit of havoc?
Yeah, when he's flying towards...
That was bad news.
Yeah.
I'm actually a bit worried about what's going to happen, man.
It's going to be fucking amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So season 8, it's only 6 episodes long. It's a short series.
So the Night King was on that dragon, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Flying him.
Yeah.
What's going to happen, Stu? It was a brilliant cliffhanger ending.
It's fantastic, right?
Yeah. But I hopped on board at about season 3, and I'm in for the ride now.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing.
It was a really good scene. I'm not worried, Stu. Like, they'll put out quality.
Yeah. So they started filming... I think it was October last year.
Okay.
Or it could have been a little early, like September.
And they want another winter to shoot.
They filmed over winter, Northern Hemisphere, obviously. A lot of their northern scenes are filmed in...
Iceland or somewhere, is it?
Yeah, Iceland, like outside of Reykjavik. There's also some in Ireland. They're all over the place.
Okay.
A lot of Dawn is Spain.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So they do film in about 5 different countries. It's actually
it must
incredible.
Be expensive.
Yeah.
Wow. But I guess it's a huge, huge hit.
Oh, it's massive.
Probably bigger than anyone anticipated when it started. You know? It really...
Yeah.
It had a lot... I remember when it debuted, it had a lot of press on it, but gee, it really exploded. It's become its own thing. Yeah, no, and like at the end of last season, I was genuinely like, wow, I was really invested.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So we're not getting the next season until April next year, which seems like a long time, but it's a 4-month turnaround from finishing filming to releasing.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
That's a pretty quick turnaround.
Yeah. And look, it's the final season too, so people will be, you want to get a good product. I don't want it to be rushed.
Yeah, exactly right. And look, for me, when a show decides to end after a certain amount of time, and they actually get to film a final season, I think those shows do so much better than everyone else.
If you can go out on top with a great ending.
I mean, not only are they going to be the number one show on television when they leave, but they've made conscious decisions to tie up stories to...
The complete opposite of Walking Dead, which is just staggering its way through seasons.
Yeah, exactly.
With no end in sight. Like
exactly.
It'll end when no one's watching, sort of thing. We'll keep going forever.
And I think I saw that the actress that plays Maggie is now arguing she should get equal pay.
I did see something about that.
She should, all of her male co-stars.
She should. She's a major star in that show.
Yeah, I agree with this move. I think she should be getting paid as much as...
Yeah, I believe she should.
I think Andrew Lincoln is the lead. He's getting paid a lot more. And Norman Reedus, who plays Daryl.
Plenty too. But
those two get paid more than anyone else.
But she's a fairly significant character by this point.
I would have thought... I can't remember who plays her. I'm sorry, I can't remember the actress's name.
I've got no idea what
and also Denai Guerrero, who plays Michonne.
Oh, yeah.
Those two should be getting significantly more money.
Definitely.
Like the same as the other major cast members. But anyway.
I'll say it again, Stu. She's got two things against her in Hollywood. She's a woman and she's black. And she's underpaid. Frankly.
Hopefully, I mean, she's got a major role in Black Panther.
I fucking love Michonne. She's one of my favourite characters. I've got a Michonne shirt.
Yeah.
I fucking dig that actress. She's cool.
Well, she's in Black Panther playing a major role. So
is she really?
Yeah, she leads the Dora Milaje.
Right, awesome. Well, that's good news for me. I didn't know that. Dave's just put a smile on Dave's face.
Dave's been watching all these trailers, just not noticing Michonne walking around.
I've sort of I'm a little bit kind of spun out by all the trailers and stuff. I'm just ready for the movie now,
Yeah.
There's been so many trailers in my little brain, my fever.
Less than a week to wait now, Dave.
Yeah, good. So that's interesting. And I do want to say, wrapping the Star Wars stuff up, I am excited that they're expanding beyond Skywalker, and we're seeing... I love seeing more of the Star Wars universe. Even the snippets we saw in the Han Solo trailer, I like that we're seeing a different side of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to explore all sorts of stuff, man. Like, the Star Wars has got a rich history that they can use. We've only seen in the movies kind of the through lines of the Skywalkers and the rebellion. There's a lot more to Star Wars than that.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, I think it's really cool. Now, Stu, we're turning to some comic news here. Bendis did announce this week that he is writing Superman. Stu, he's going to be on the Superman title.
Yeah, we heard that last week. He's doing Superman 1000.
No, but not just Superman 1000. He's then taking over Action Comics.
He's taking over
Action Comics and
Action Comics 1000.
Action Comics. But Action Comics 1000 is like a million writers doing different stories, like it's an anthology book, and that's his first story. But he's then taking over from Peter Tomasi, doing Superman and the other Superman title, which I assume is Action Comics. So he's doing two titles.
Yep.
So we did say, Stu, when he came over that he'd be either doing Batman or Superman. You don't get Bendis over to do C-list characters.
Well, no, we said last week it was announced that he was taking over Superman.
Okay.
From Action Comics 1000.
Okay. All right. Well, there we go. I'm glad that's cleared up. Now, we've got here's more information, Stu, about the Turtles. Stu kind of claims that last week I talked about the Turtles' new show and how bad the animation was. I did 2 videos on it, Stu, which I think you're confusing with.
You've done a lot of content on this.
I've done a lot of content. I just want to say again, I will watch it when it comes out, as in the first episode, but I'm not a big fan of the visuals. There was some stuff here. This was kind of funny. In Injustice 2, the game, the Turtles are coming on as characters, which I think is really cool. The DC fighting game, Injustice. And
do you play as just one of them at a time?
Well, it hasn't been released yet. I don't know. That's actually
because obviously, like Injustice, you play a single character at a time. But the Turtles work together. You don't see a single turtle.
Well, they can fight separately if they have to.
Yeah, but if you're coming up against
very distinctive fighting style,
if you're coming up against Superman, you're not showing up with a single turtle.
Yeah,
that's going to be Turtles. That's Turtle Soup within 30 seconds.
I love the Turtles, but they're going to struggle against Superman.
At least 4 of them. There's a few targets. It'll take him a little longer.
Stand a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point, Stu. I don't know, but apparently someone I didn't even understand what he'd done. The news was he'd mined the voices, which I just didn't even know what that meant. But apparently this guy's got hold of all the vocal tracks and he's released it on the internet and of all their speeches and stuff that they use in the game. He's got a hold of that. Somehow he hacked into the fucking system. Pretty fucking out there. I didn't even know what it meant. It was like he mined it. I was like, what's he doing? I don't even understand what that word meant. And then I read the article and this guy's like, he's being fucking praised like you wouldn't believe. Like people are treating him like a god on the internet for it as well. It couldn't be legal, could it, Stu? Like you're hacking into... How do they get away with that? And then people know who they are? I don't understand. Like, if we hacked in and got the...
What are you talking about?
This guy hacked into the
Where
game.
are you getting hacked? Where are you? You came up with that word, Dave.
He hacked in, dude, and got...
He mined the voices.
What does that mean?
He records them on the movies that have come out.
No, dude. This hacker got hold of the voices, okay, and released it to the internet. So the Turtles game the Turtles appearance hasn't come out yet, okay? It's still, they're not in Injustice 2. But somehow this guy got hold of all the audio tracks that all the Turtles are doing. Somehow, so I'm saying he hacked into the fucking company, the game server or something, and got hold of the information and then released it to the internet. That's what I'm saying, dude. See, I'm always like, what, and they can't work out who it is when he's got an open internet account and he's like doing interviews about it? I'm like, how bad are the fucking coppers going these days? They can't even work it out from there. I reckon I could work it out. Like, these morons on Reddit and stuff, and people are like fucking giving him huge props. Yeah, it's kind of cool. You hacked into it, but I don't know if I'd publicise it and say, yeah, I'm the guy who did it.
His name's all over it as well.
Yeah. See, now you're catching up on the story, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I'm actually reading the article, Dave.
I read it, dude. I read it. I fucking read it the other day. See, like, you think I don't read the articles. Sometimes I do.
You barely read these articles, Dave.
I read about half of the article. It was a bit fucking boring.
You copy exactly. You copy and paste the headline.
Anyway, moving on from that guy. He's got enough fucking publicity. People are acting like he fucking did it himself. All he did was hack in, Stu. You know? Like, it's, in a way that's kind of theft. Not that I really care, but, like, it's breaking laws of some sort. I don't know.
He says he extracted them from the PC files directly. So, he works for them, I'm guessing, or...
Oh, so it's an inside job.
Yeah, and he released them all.
There's a fucking movie in this.
It's not a good movie, Dave.
The Inside Man.
This is a terrible movie.
Imagine if there's one guy who's doing it. There's like
if he's Italian, we can call it the Italian job. We could just start naming him.
But shit, imagine if there's like one guy doing all the voices and they quickly work out who it is. They're like, well, you are the guy who records all the voices and has them all on your computer.
At this point, the gaming companies have all said they haven't acknowledged any existence of this stuff.
There was some speculation it was a hoax, that he didn't actually have it.
Could well be. No one's confirmed it. No one's... Well, we haven't... Yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
I mean... I rumour and speculation at this point.
Which is where I come in.
That's your wheelhouse, Dave.
Yeah. Stu, as well, some shocking news here. The fifth lethal weapon is dead.
The fifth lethal weapon has been dead for decades.
Yeah, it has been a long time
since
Lethal Weapon 4.
This isn't news either. This is just...
Lethal Weapon
stating
4.
Obvious fact.
Richard Donner only last year was very enthusiastic and reckoned that Mel and Danny Glover, everyone was behind the script.
Apparently,
and he apparently came out and made this big statement that Warner Brothers are playing their usual games and it doesn't look like we're going to get a fifth lethal weapon. I don't think we need a fifth lethal weapon, frankly.
No.
You know. I mean, someone was suggesting that they do... This is a stupid suggestion, that they do a film where they meet the TV version. I mean, this is just a bad suggestion.
Yeah.
Like, that's just like, really... I mean, once
I've seen a lot of TV shows where like the originals show up as a cameo.
Sure, yeah,
and it's like a tongue-in-cheek.
But Mel's not struggling for that amount of cash that he's going to turn up on a TV show for Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, he's not hurting that.
I mean, he's just started to get his career back on track.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, he's not that desperate.
I could see him doing a Lethal Weapon movie because it's his, like, if the stars had aligned correctly. I could see him doing a movie for it, but he's not going to appear in a TV show.
I could see him directing an episode of the TV series, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Even that, it's like this is the guy who directs like Apocalypto, Passion of the Christ. You know, directing a Lethal Weapon TV episode. It's kind of beneath his pay grade a bit, really. Anyway, Usagi Yojimbo. Stu, are you familiar with Usagi Yojimbo, the sort of fighting rabbit by Stan Sakai? Very good stuff.
No, I'm not familiar with Usagi Yojimbo.
This is actually, Stu, honestly, a really cool rabbit that's basically an anthropomorphic animal inside an anthropomorphic world. They actually had crossovers with the Turtles. He appears in some of the Turtles cartoons and stuff, but he's created by this Hawaiian, I think he's Hawaiian, Stan Sakai, writer and cartoonist. Brilliant, Stu, brilliant. And it's now going to be a new kids' TV cartoon. This French company have picked it up. Really, Stu, this is something that I've actually said at times you should do on the show. I really think you'd really enjoy it. It's Usagi Yojimbo is one of those books that it's all ages in the best possible way. I think you could give it to like a 10-year-old or a 50-year-old. And it's such a beautiful world, and it's quite complicated world. Like it's actually really cool. And I'm kind of excited. He appears in quite a few of the Turtles TV shows along the years as well. In the Fighting Rabbit, he turns up. He's pretty cool character.
That's cool.
Yeah. What did you think about this, Stu? Sometimes I'd like to hear your reaction on controversies.
I like that occasionally you like to hear from me. That's good of you.
Fantastic Beasts 2 will not explicitly address Dumbledore's sexuality. Turning it over to Stu for your reaction. Because remember, he was gay, J.R. Rowling said.
Not only was he gay, he had a relationship with Grindelwald, which is where all this controversy comes from. Like, they're doing the origin story of both these characters, and they're not going to be together.
Oh.
So,
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's not just, they're not going to say, Dumbledore, are you gay? And he goes, yeah, I am gay. And they move on.
Or just have him dating someone or something, I thought.
Yeah, he was meant to be dating someone, and it was meant to be the villain.
Who was he in a relationship with?
Grindelwald.
Isn't he the main guy in it?
The villain? Yeah.
The guy played by that weird-looking guy. Was it Ezra Miller? In the Fantastic Beasts movie?
No, I mean, at the end it was revealed that it was...
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. So, yeah,
right.
That guy.
Okay. That seems curious to me. But didn't she only say he was gay after all the books were out? So it wasn't actually overtly said in the books, I believe.
She had written him as though he were gay.
Sure.
Like, she always knew.
Yeah.
I don't think it was released until maybe the last book was coming out or something like that. Okay. It was very late in the game.
That is interesting, though. They're not going to do that. That again tells me that Hollywood, basically, at the end of the day, is kind of like... has a real fear about it hurting the box office still, in this day and age.
Quite possibly, yeah. I think that's probably where this is coming from. I think the other part of it is that they don't want to... They want kids to see this, and a lot of kids still think of Dumbledore as, let's be honest, like an asexual, just old man.
Who played Dumbledore? Was it that guy? What's his fucking name?
Originally it was Richard Harris in the first two, and then he died.
Eddie, what's his name in the Fantastic Beasts movie I'm talking about?
Oh, in the Fantastic Beasts movie.
Was Dumbledore the guy who went to America? Or was that someone else?
No, that wasn't him.
Oh, that was
Eddie Redmayne is who you're thinking of?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't playing
But
Dumbledore.
Wasn't Dumbledore in it? Wasn't there a flash of Dumbledore at some point, I thought?
I think it was reference.
Okay. See, I'm confused. I'm all over the shop on this one. Because I was like, how did he turn to Dumbledore, who looks kind of like old? He almost looks like Gandalf-ish a bit, you know? Because
So there was like I think there was a really brief moment.
Yeah, I think there was a very brief sort of thing. Because Dumbledore's in England, yeah?
Yeah, predominantly, yes.
Okay. Well, I don't know what to say about this controversy. I mean, I've come around it the wrong way. Because I
feel like a lot of this Harry Potter stuff's just... It's not your wheelhouse.
No, but I did enjoy the Fantastic Beasts movie. Quite a lot, actually.
Yeah. It's a good movie.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. I guess this is just modern day Hollywood. They don't, they're going to play the kids card and go, the kids can't handle him having a gay relationship. It's not actually that surprising, frankly. I'd be more surprised if they actually did it. Like, seriously, I would.
Just to clear things up, the lead character was Newt Scamander, who was played by Eddie Redmayne.
What a shit name. Newt Scamander. Is that seriously his name?
Yeah. He was the author of the book Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which appeared in the Harry Potter books and movies.
Oh, okay. Right. Well, I enjoyed the movie, too, and I thought it was pretty cool. Who did Ezra Miller play? Ezra Miller played a baddie. He was in the movie.
Ezra Miller played the kid that was kind of possessed. It wasn't a...
Okay. And someone else played the bad guy that turned into Johnny Depp. Someone else played the role for the whole movie, and it turned into Johnny Depp at the end, from memory. I believe, Stu. So is Johnny Depp going to be in the sequel?
I would assume so.
So he's clinging on to his film career by getting involved in another franchise.
I'm hoping not, but
Jesus
apparently
Christ.
he is.
Yeah, he is, man. Like, maybe you put some money away this time. When he gets paid like fucking $30 million, he might like save a little bit. Jesus Christ. Don't buy another island, Johnny. I think you're running out of fucking franchises, you know what I mean? Like, I think your franchise days are starting to grow very numbered.
Okay, so Ezra Miller played a character called Credence Barebone, not a villain.
Okay.
Just a kid.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're doing the research over there, Stu. Good for you. Because I wasn't really on top of it.
So, yeah, Johnny Depp was the one playing.
So, out of 10, where are you on the controversy? If 10's like, I'm outraged, and 1's like, don't care, where are you?
Like a 2.
I'm taking a stand for LGBT gay rights, and like I'm on a 3.5. So, yeah.
Well, that's a lot more than you were when you started this conversation, weren't you?
I'm taking sort of a moral stance rather than actually caring.
So just to... the new Fantastic Beasts movie...
Yes.
Which is due out this year.
Yeah, I'm seeing it. I like it.
Johnny Depp is still in the lead as Grindelwald.
Okay.
Eddie Redmayne's still in there. Jude Law is Dumbledore.
Ah, okay, yes, okay. Right.
Ezra Miller's still in it. Zoe Kravitz is in it now.
Okay.
As Lestrange. So,
who's Zoe Kravitz when she's done?
Sorry?
Who's Zoe Kravitz?
Lenny's daughter?
Lenny Kravitz's daughter.
Do you not know Zoe Kravitz?
I've never heard of her in my life, but good for her.
Really?
I like Lenny Kravitz.
She was in...
She's as good as Lenny Kravitz.
She's had significant roles in a few movies you've seen, like a lot of times.
Okay. Well, you know, Stu, I don't always pay attention, man. Like, you know, good for her.
Mad Max Fury Road?
Yeah, but come on. Who was she in that, dude? Like,
X-Men First Class?
Who did she play in X-Men First Class? Give me a fucking character name.
Angel Salvador.
Doesn't ring any bells.
She was in Insurgent. She was in After Earth, that really terrible
but she's been
movie.
around. She's been around, basically.
She's...
Okay.
Yeah.
Decent career.
She was the voice of Catwoman in the Lego Batman movie.
Well done to her.
So,
and I like Lenny Kravitz, so God bless his daughter for like progressing in Hollywood. Like, that's my comment on the situation. I'm coming in late to the party, as usual.
Yeah, now a massive fan of Zoe Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz, I'm on board. Now, Stu, did you hear about this Black Panther sabotage event that was on Facebook?
I did. This is so sad.
This is so fucking lame. The goal was to take down the Black Panther movie, which you're not going to take down the movie. By downvoting it on Rotten Tomatoes, the same group also took credit for downvoting Last Jedi. They also have goals to do the same thing to Solo and Avengers Infinity War.
So this is a bunch of idealists that think that these big blockbuster sequels and these
they're coming from
studio-run
India,
films, exactly, are ruining the film industry, and everything should be indie films and solo original ideas. So they're coming along and downvoting popular movies.
I assumed it was a
because
racist thing. I assumed they were like alt-right or something.
No,
it's not racial.
It's not a racial thing. It's not a...
It's a fucking anti-commercial. It's almost a communist thing.
Basically, it's an anti-establishment thing.
Commies. They're back in there. The commies are back running fucking
it's the communist agenda popping its ugly head up again.
The communist agenda. We're here to warn viewers about it.
We need Captain America right here to fight cybercrime.
Red, white and blue. Get Frank Castle out on the job as well. There's only one way he deals with communists.
Story.
But that's pretty fucking woeful. I mean, firstly, you're not going to do fuck all to the box office take. It's going to be so insignificant whatever you achieve. You might get the Rotten Tomatoes score down with your bullshit by some points, but you're not going to affect the box office in any real material way.
No, exactly. But it does, for me, it kind of tarnishes the reputation of some of these great movies.
Sure.
Like, these people have been doing this for a long time now. These aren't the first movies they've done. They just... Right. They got bigger and more popular, and now it's become a thing. And so it got taken off Facebook. But there were people that were downvoting things like Logan because it was a studio-run movie.
Oh, yeah. There's always been snobbery towards this genre movies. They've always been getting...
No, but they don't see the movie. They don't review it. They just...
They're fuckwits.
They downvote it because it's a studio-run
You know who does that? Critics generally as well. Look at critics generally on action movies and genre movies, and I'm telling you, a good genre movie, a very, very, very good one, usually at most a Metacritic is in the 70s. Critics have a massive propensity to to really go high on biography.
Yes, but they are better films technically.
Sure, but still...
Like, you get these action movies, they're fantastic movies, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
They are still way more fun to view. They're great things to go and do with your family.
Yeah.
Die Hard is one of my all-time favourite movies.
Say Die Hard's one of the most perfect movies for us.
It's one of my all-time most favourite movies.
But if it's almost perfect, why isn't it getting a 90 on Metacritic?
Because it's fun to watch, but it is not a perfect film.
Well, it almost is. Like, what's not perfect about Die Hard? It's been the template's been copied like 1,000 times.
That's true, but the template's been copied from terrible films before. That's not an argument.
It isn't.
Like, they compare it to some of the classic films that they consider perfect.
Gone with the Wind,
Citizen Kane,
Godfather, etc.
Godfather Part 2, yeah. Like, some of the best films of all time.
Yeah. They explore the human condition more.
Yeah, I think they're a little more highbrow. The critics...
Yeah, I get it.
There's more for the critics to unpack.
I still don't think these guys... I think these guys are struggling for form in a big way. Going on sabotage. I actually thought it was a racial thing. That was where I thought it was coming from. But it's not. It's just a sort of anti-commercial thing.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you support your fucking... If that's what you care about, why not just don't spend your money on the superhero and go and watch whatever the post?
See, for me, if they really want to hurt these films, they need to go and see the indie films and spend their money.
That's what I'm saying. Support that.
Exactly. You're better off supporting your hero than trying to cut the legs out of ours.
You never will. You never will as well. Eventually, the superhero bubble will burst, but all bubbles burst. It won't be because of these guys, because of audience fatigue, and there'll be some bombs that clock up, etc. Yeah,
but the only thing that's going to really prompt that is when we get an original film that makes amazing money in the box office.
Sure.
Because then you're going to get producers, directors, studios saying, yeah, that writing team and that directing team that made this film, they're worth a lot of money. Let's give them more freedom. Let's let them do another original.
Sort of like Nolan. Nolan's a good example of that. Inception.
Dunkirk, I mean, exactly.
Interstellar, you know.
Yeah, he's had a few original, amazing films.
Made big money. Got The Matrix. You know, the original Matrix?
The original Matrix, with the Wachowski siblings.
That was fucking mind-blowing.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, they then got a bunch of money and made 2 and 3, which were god-awful.
Yeah, exactly. But like they did go through the bubble with an original concept, which blew up massive.
Yep, exactly.
It's tricky, though.
What they need is something like a Cloverfield or a Get Out, which came out last year, which was an original thing.
Yep.
And it was incredible.
Look, I love movies in general, so I am very open to non-superhero movies, frankly. I don't think you need them. I think at times, doing what we do, Stu, and the circles we mix in, we do get a lot of superheroes. But every now and then you need to cleanse. You know, I get like that sometimes. And I'm watching the old original Fugitive TV show from the 60s. I bought the box set.
Yeah.
And it's so lean and so good and all about story and character that at times you need to cleanse off, like just a flat-out, blockbuster.
I cleanse from comics regularly. Like, for the last 2 weeks, I haven't read anything that wasn't on the show.
Sure.
I went and watched a bunch of old Scrubs episodes, just something that's not comic booky related, definitely clear it out a bit. Because,
exactly.
I don't know about other people, but I can't continually do this.
Really?
I can't read comic books every day.
Oh yeah.
For the rest of my life, and just watch comic.
You need to. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. You need to tune in and out.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. It's like anything, but that's anybody.
So I cut it back to the bare minimum required for the show, which is fine. That's not a
good, Stu. So you won't burn out. We want you to last, Stu.
Oh, I'm not burning out in this show. Don't worry.
Exactly. Come on. I mean, because I don't want to have to start interviewing potential candidates, Stu. I've got a long list.
Really? Because you were super keen on interviewing people earlier in the show.
Oh, no, I want to interview...
You want to interview a bunch of nut jobs? Yeah.
That's my new concept, Stu, as well. You can be part of it with a microphone, a floating sort of third voice.
We can call it Davey's Crazies. That's a great one.
I love it as well.
Yeah.
Picture of me doing a thumbs up.
Yeah, and them biting their own fingers off during the interview.
Now, Stu, interestingly enough, talking about people who have views on superhero movies, James Mangold, who we know from Logan and the Wolverine, was bashing Easter eggs, called fans who watch post-credit scenes dogs waiting for milk bones, went on a Twitter rampage about after-credit scenes. When challenged on the end of the Wolverine, which has an after-credit scene setting up Days of Future Past, he says, I directed it, I enjoyed directing it, but ultimately I feel like I was selling burgers. It didn't set up Days of Future Past, it promoted it. This sounds like a guy well and truly over superhero movies. Would you go shoot?
Yeah, I couldn't give two flying fucks.
It sounds like a burnt out fucking rat.
You can call me a dog waiting for a bone. I'm cool with it as long as I still get my postcards.
Yeah, I'm like not offended because I just don't care enough to.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, hey, and I'm also like, I kind of enjoyed that post-credit scene in the Wolverine, which set up Days of Future Past. Remember when Wolverine's walking through the airport?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, it's not even the best one I've seen, but I'm like, it was okay. Like, it's a bit rich for a guy who's kind of like got a movie that's been nominated by the Academy with Logan to sort of then be turning around and sort of spitting in the face of the audience a little bit, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, James.
The only thing about this post-credit scene, kind of
trend
that we're in,
sure,
is that it does rely on there being another movie.
That's fine.
It ruins the idea that you can have a standalone movie and it works well.
But sometimes the post-credit scenes, like, honestly, are a joke and not really worth waiting for. Like the one with Captain America, where it was like, you just go over for the end of this. It's a joke, is all it is. It's just a joke.
Also, like, the Deadpool one was perfect, where he's like, we need to cast Cable, let's get Keira Knightley in.
That was great, man. Like, that was a great post-credit scene. It came with Wolverine, like, Hugh Jackman's face on his thing and stuff.
No, and he was in the bathrobe, in the Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah, I mean, at the start of that, he came out with Wolverine over his face. Do you remember? He came out with like a picture of Hugh Jackman, basically, over his face.
He had that during the movie. I don't think he had it in the post-credit scenes, did he?
He took it off, but I think he had it. Yeah. I think I'm struggling to remember. I haven't seen the post-credit scene in a while, but
I thought he was just wearing the robe. He still had his mask on, like the Deadpool mask.
I could be wrong, but I maybe there's two scenes, Stu. I remember seeing one where he had Hugh Jackman's face over his, like a sort of like a, not a mask, but almost like a mask, and then I think he took it off. It was kind of his joke because there was a lot of speculation that Hugh Jackman would do it.
It was in the meat of the movie. He had that.
Oh, okay.
As a gag, but the post-credit scene, he just shows up.
And just the Ferris Bueller bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That was a good one, though. I mean, Ferris Bueller was famously one of the first post-credit scenes that I remember in my life. I remember seeing the original Ferris Bueller, and that post-credit scene just blew me away.
Yeah.
It was cool. I mean, I think he's making a mountain out of an absolute molehill as well, Stu. Like, fans fucking love post-credit scenes, so the studios that are making these movies that are making tons will keep making the post-credit scenes.
Look, for me, the Easter egg it's a brilliant way of getting the fans involved.
Yeah.
Because the true hardcore fans can look for these, find them, and they get a lot of enjoyment out of hunting down these Easter eggs.
Definitely.
It doesn't take a lot of effort for the directors to do.
No.
Like, they literally just need to throw a few comic books in the background of a scene, or have them mention a name in the script. Like, they're not doing a lot of the work.
Like for example, the one at the end of Guardians 2 where it didn't have Howard the Duck again and Stan and all that. Yeah?
Yeah, I'm talking about smaller Easter eggs. That's basically a cameo by those characters.
Yeah.
Like Winter Soldier when he says, when Jasper Sitwell's getting interrogated and he says, we follow people of interest, Bruce Banner, Stephen Strange.
Yes.
And at that point, Doctor Strange wasn't a thing in the Marvel Universe.
No, definitely.
So that was a brilliant Easter egg for those people that go, that's Doctor Strange, I know who that is.
Yeah, exactly.
Hardcore fans get a lot out of that line.
Yeah.
Regular people that see the movie are just like, he's a person of interest.
Sure.
It doesn't diminish the film, it doesn't hurt them.
No.
And it takes no effort for the cast and crew.
I like them. I think James Mangold needs to get a grip and just go and make his own movie. Don't worry, mate. Apparently he had ambitions to do a movie with X-23 before this Fox deal, which has now fallen apart. And it could be a bit of sour grapes as well, Stu. He might have been thinking he was going to spin Logan out into something else and had a project ready to go, and then that's off the table, and he's a little bit bittersweet about the whole franchise thing.
Regardless of whether the deal went through or not, we weren't going to see Hugh Jackman stick around.
No, not Hugh Jackman. He was going to spin something out with X-23
with the new Wolverine.
James Mangold, was planning to do a movie with the young girl.
Look, he still can. Like, Fox is still making movies,
but apparently that deal collapsed the second that news came out. Sort of, it was one of those movies that was speculated on.
Well, true, but it's kind of like he's still got... Like, he's done a couple of good films.
Yeah,
Logan was amazing.
I love them, personally. Like, I think he's a good director, obviously.
He could very easily just go to Disney or whoever owns them at the end of the day and say, want to do an X-23 spin-off.
Yeah. I just don't think Hugh needs the negative vibes around him because we want to do this, finale that I want. So
I saw another news article yesterday that was like...
Was it written by me?
No. Hugh Jackman's considering coming back. I'm like, fucking oath he is.
Yeah, of course he is.
We've been saying this for months.
We're on top of the situation, Stu.
On top of it.
We are fucking on top of it. Now, Stu, probably coming to maybe my favourite news item of all time. Amazon plans a Conan the Barbarian TV series. I could not feel more validated by Crom. Now, Stu, what have you got to say?
Yelling that out there.
Basically, Stu, this is everything that I've been talking about. An episodic series featuring Conan, the wandering mercenary, thief, warrior king. Just an absolute gold star character. He's so suited to a TV show. Stu, where are you on Amazon doing a 12-episode series of Conan tramping through the world? And it's a magical world, Stu. It's a very cool world.
Is this an animated show?
No, I believe it's live action, Stu. Amazon are planning a live action show. It's early stages, man, but it's been announced that's planned to come out. Well, were Amazon the ones who were behind the Lord of the Rings as well? Show? I think they were. I think Amazon have picked up...
Don't start bringing in Lord of the Rings into Conan. Don't start bringing Lord of the Rings into Conan debates again, Dave.
I'm not talking about them doing a crossover. I'm not talking about them doing a crossover, but I believe Amazon...
they're not going to do crossovers.
I believe Amazon were the ones who picked up Lord of the Rings. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Well, two pretty strong properties. Look, Stu, I really seriously think we should do Savage Sword of Conan on the show at some point. You've really got to experience Conan. He's such a cool character, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
every time you bring him up, you talk as if I hate Conan.
Well, you have made some pretty incendiary comments.
No, I said you were a fucking idiot for comparing Conan and saying it was better than Lord of the Rings. Well, which is quite possibly the dumbest thing we've ever said.
The world is very different. They're two fantasy worlds, but they're very different. I'm not alone, Stu. Famous writers like Malcolm Moorcock, who's a big British fantasy and science fiction writer. Many writers, actually, in their time have mentioned how good Robert E. Howard's stories are when compared to Lord of the Rings. And they've said Lord of the Rings does a very pastoral kind of English county kind of village kind of perspective of the world, whereas Conan's more the blood and guts of a real fantasy world. Like, Game of Thrones owes more to Conan than to Lord of the Rings, frankly, in how it's depicted. Conan's a very sort of realistic take on it all. It's not very moral. It lacks... Like, Lord of the Rings is very much good versus evil. It's a different prism that they're looking through the world at. It's two fantasy worlds that are completely different. They're quite hard to compare, really, because it's almost like if you picked a character in Lord of the Rings like Aragorn, or even better, someone like Boromir, and made him the POV character and him walking through the world. It's a different experience to looking through the eyes of hobbits, who are basically everymen, and are intrinsically good. Conan's a slightly more... He's a kind of a more complicated character because he is basically... I'm losing my voice.
As Dave dies in the corner. Dave, give it up.
No,
you're not going to convince me.
I'm just explaining the concept of Conan to you. Like,
you're killing yourself, convincing him. Who's already said I'm fine reading Conan.
Right,
I just think that he's not comparable to Lord of the Rings.
Well, I don't know, Stu. We'll see. We'll see when the show comes out. Now, also, Stu, there are reports that Sony's television and film assets may go up for sale, which obviously includes the Spider-Man properties and Spider-Verse, Stu. Do you think the mouse is interested in just snapping them up?
Okay, so they are not up for sale.
What do you mean they're not up for sale? That's the news item.
They're not up for sale?
Well, reportedly, Stu. Neither were Fox until they were suddenly up for sale.
No, they're not up for sale.
There's speculation. The CEO resigned. The CEO resigned, Stu. I read the news, my friend. I mean, I wrote this news item 2 days ago. There's been developments since I wrote it.
Since you wrote it?
Yeah, exactly. Since I wrote it. Since I broke it. You're giggling over there like you've got the keys to the treasure. Have you actually uncovered some information on the internet, Stu? Or
okay, so the CEO has stepped down.
Yes.
The chief financial officer, Yoshida, is set to succeed him.
Yes.
And there is now speculation that their film and TV assets may not be far off.
Yes, that's exactly what I just said. May go up for sale.
Nothing's up for sale. There has been absolutely nobody bidding.
I think
nobody said anything.
I think the mouse is...
The CEO is retired, and that's literally all.
Okay.
People have just speculated
wildly. Come back to me in a year's
wildly.
time when Disney owns Spider-Man, and I'll take your apology.
Right now is the worst time because Disney would not buy them.
Why?
Because they've just spent a hell of a lot of money acquiring Fox.
Oh, I don't know. Sony haven't had too many hits recently. That's the problem Sony have. So they're in a weakened state.
Yeah, but so are Marvel. So are Disney.
Disney aren't in a weakened state. They've had nothing but hits. They've got huge cash reserves, Disney. And so
True, but they're now down $70 billion.
Okay, all right. I think the mouse has got a little bit more than you realise. I don't think you're up to Scrooge McDuck's latest figures. They're up there, man.
They are, but they're not...
They're like Apple did. They've got enormous cash reserves.
The other thing is they wouldn't be allowed to monopolise the film and TV industry. Like, they're struggling to get through the Fox deal, and now you're selling them Sony? Right now is the worst time.
Have you noticed my fears about monopoly have gone out the window all of a sudden?
Yeah.
I'd be happy with them just acquiring the Spider-Man fucking properties, frankly. If they could just nab them back, I'd be happy with that.
They'd certainly be allowed to do that, no problem.
Yeah, no, I'd be happy just with that, frankly. I don't really give a fuck about, like, whatever else Sony owns. It doesn't worry me that much. Anyway, that finishes the news for the week, which I think I've done well reporting on, considering I'm fucking dying of flu, which means weekly comic. Now, Stu, I mean, I'm excited to have made it this far in the show. I actually thought I might have died, but...
It sounds like you did a couple of times.
No, I know. I'm actually going to have another Codral while I'm doing the show, just because I want to keep my energy up. I don't want to peter out like a sort of fifth set loss in tennis or something.
Wow.
You know.
This is breaking, drug taking on the signal.
Pulling a Kyrgios, like, oh yeah, just didn't quite have it in the final fifth set. The fifth set's where it all counts.
Tomic doesn't even make the fifth set.
I tell you what, in my tennis career, I don't mean to brag, but I lost very few matches in the fifth set, ever. I really had a very good record in fifth set matches. Because I always like the feeling that you're playing people that you could beat just by staying out there longer. I always want to give you a chance. Because, like, I never thought my play was, like, that great, but I was like, if I can beat someone who's tired and exhausted, I'll take that.
Dave taking the easy victories. Alright, so mouthful of water, he can't come back at me. Alright, weekly comics. The first one up on the list,
yes.
We've got Batman number 40. Mm-hmm. So it's continuing on this journey from last week where we saw Batman and Diana get taken to this,
which we were quite harsh on, remember?
Alternate reality.
Yes.
To give the good guy? Was it the gentleman?
The gentleman.
The gentleman. To give the gentleman a break.
Of that, like, gentleman, like... I thought it was kind of lame.
Reading the second half...
I enjoyed the issue.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. We were harsh on the first half. Remember?
The first half wasn't great.
No. The concept, too, just for readers and listeners, if they have come in halfway through, basically the gentleman fights an unending battle in this other reality against this horde. And...
to stop that horde from getting to Earth.
Yes.
Basically.
And he fights it forever, and meanwhile, time passes much slower in normal reality. So Diana and Batman, had a pact with him that if he called them, they would come and replace him. Thinking they were just giving him a break.
But, so he could go and see his daughter.
Yeah. But him seeing his daughter, or was it his wife, Stu? It might have been his wife.
I hope not. Well, she's significantly younger.
Daughter or wife, whatever it was. But him going to see her was like the equivalent of a night. He basically had a dinner with Selena, Catwoman, and then he went and met her. But during that was like 40 years for Diana and Bruce fighting in this other reality. And it was an intense fight against this horde. A question I've got, did Bruce age? Because he didn't seem like he aged.
Bruce aged, Diana not.
Not, of course. She's immortal.
Yeah, so she didn't age. But yeah, Bruce got older.
Okay.
You saw the lines start to appear on his face.
Okay. And in the climax to the previous issue was that they almost kissed. Well, you said they wouldn't kiss you, and you were proof correct.
Told you. Everything I say is right, Dave.
Yeah. You were actually right. Adam Crouch, actually. I should give you some props. Adam Crouch said, Dave, I always agree with you until Stu destroys both our points. And I was like... Actually, I thought you'd enjoy that, Stu. I remember that now.
Yeah, that's one of my favourite bits of feedback.
I was sort of like...
I'm amazed that I got that feedback.
I almost deleted it off the internet, but I was like... Because I monitor the social media now.
Yeah, I've noticed most positive Stu reviews straight to the delete box.
Very few. They're few and far between. I should mention now, before we get further into it, as well as the Signal of Doom Facebook page, there's now also a discussion group which for some reason apparently Facebook sees more from the discussion groups than the page, so I cross-post everything. So if people are liking the Facebook page, join the discussion group. I added a stack of my Facebook, friends and associates in, but if you want to jump in there, because it's popping off, people are like chiming in, because guess what, I'm the ruler, and I like chaos, so I'm like this. I said go as hard as you want, or just chillax, whatever you want to do. I don't care. So far I haven't had any disputes at all. I consider myself like the king, the king. Like, it has to be quite something for me to come down from my throne. Just the petty squabblings of the peasants. I'm not coming up for that.
Man, those quadrils kick in quick.
Anyway, so turning back to the story. So, Stu, this one was better. And I also like they didn't kiss. But they have a bit of romantic tension, which they've always had. Diana and Bruce have often, in terms of different parts of media, had a bit of romantic tension without ever being a full couple. Makes sense. He's a powerful man, she's a powerful woman. I've got no problems with it. But people on the internet were really kicking up, and unfortunately DFIM was amongst one of them, in saying that a picture of Wonder Woman in the first issue of this was kind of off base. I thought she was more sent to this issue. What did you think, Stu?
I agree with that. I thought it was really well done in that when they were fighting this horde endlessly, they would kind of fight all day and then have the nights where they would set up camp and recover.
I like the way the timeline jumped around. It would say 19 years later, 40 years later, 20 years later. Like, it just kind of...
and what it showed was that at some point, Bruce was basically giving up and Wonder Woman was carrying on. And then a few years later, Wonder Woman was giving up and Bruce was the one picking her up.
Wonder Woman to be giving up.
Which I thought was amazing.
And you saw the carcass of something next to her, like she'd obviously just gone fucking full on against something.
Yeah.
Because Wonder Woman doesn't give up.
And then finally, towards the end of this 40-year stint, they're basically saying neither of us can do it alone, but together we can pull through and, keep this horde at bay. And then meanwhile, they're just praying that this gentleman's going to show up
when's
again.
This guy coming back, sort of thing. And Selena was kind of had him on the ground with a foot to his throat, or his balls, one of the two. And he was like, "Oh, come on, let me just go and see." Stu, I've got to say, I think it might have been the wife. I could be wrong, but I think it might have been the wife. I think he mentioned marriage numerous times to her. So I think it was the wife, Stu.
Because he was sitting on the couch talking about how she just graduated.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. Did you actually read it, or were you just looking at the pretty pictures?
Well, I thought myself that she was looking young as well. So.
She was very young.
Okay, so it was his daughter. So his wife
incredibly young, almost as if...
His wife had passed, basically. Yeah?
I don't know. I don't know if the wife's still there.
The only reason I got confused is because he was talking about marriage a lot to Selena. Because she was like, is this what marriage is like? And he's like, well, it's not like anything, I love her, blah, 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 sort of thing. It was a bit of a critique on marriage because Selena was... one thing I really dug was the end of the comic. Because Bruce and Diana almost do kiss and they're kind of laughing at each other because they know that's a thing. And then when she comes back, she's like, 40 years with the Wonder Woman. Were you good? He's like, not that good, but not too bad. She's like, okay, try harder. And I was like, that's a kind of cool response from Selena.
Yeah.
She's a bit of a scamp herself. And I like that Wonder Woman's like, when she said to Selena, they call you a thief, but I don't think that's what you really are. I think you're a hero. That was cool from Wonder Woman,
Yeah, and the idea that Catwoman was basically saying, next time this happens, I'm going to be fighting alongside you.
That's right, yeah. And she can fight.
I thought it was great. I really enjoyed this issue.
Yeah, me too. It left me with a real smile on my face. I'm giving it 8 out of 10, Stu.
I've got 8.5, yeah.
Okay.
Very
next
enjoyable.
one, Stu, is Avengers 679. I'll leave this one with you to go through.
Yeah, Avengers 679, where we finally really got to understand the other side of this game. We've seen the Grand Master playing against some unknown worst-enemy villain.
And then when we saw him, it was like, who?
So it was the Challenger.
The Challenger. It's very, very Street Fighter, isn't it?
Very
Challenger
elites. But we get a backstory into this guy, and it's actually a pretty cool backstory. He's one of these immortals.
Yep. The same as the Collector and...
same as the Collector and the Grand Master and the Gardener. Mm-hmm. And they go through this phase where two of them realise they're going to be around forever.
Yep.
So to use up their time, they will play games against each other.
This is what we do.
Exactly.
Definitely.
They get higher
crazy.
and higher stakes.
It was getting crazy. They played table tennis. I
played table tennis at one stage, yeah. They played everything. The stakes getting higher and higher and higher. And then they hit a point where they go, we're naming each other based on what we do.
Sure.
And he says, Tanavir is now the Collector.
Yep.
And I'm the Grand Master. And...
yeah, the other guy was like, hold on.
Yeah, but the other guy was who we know as the Grandmaster.
Yes.
So they have this decision that they would play an ultimate game in which the winner becomes the Grandmaster.
And the other one's ejected from reality.
And the loser gets, exiled from reality.
And he did beat him fair and square, though, didn't he? The guy who becomes a Grandmaster did beat him.
The Grandmaster, as we know him, won.
Yes.
He sent this challenger out, and after all this time, since the beginning of time to now, the challenger finally worked a way to come back.
Yep.
And has basically challenged him to a rematch.
It was saying, I think it may have been referring to the Infinity and the Jonathan Hickman stuff, because it was said when everything dies, which was a huge thing in Marvel, if you remember.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that may have triggered his return.
Yeah, exactly. So now they're playing another game, and the stakes are the same. The winner becomes the Grandmaster, and the loser gets ejected from this reality.
Okay. Well, what did you think? As an issue, I enjoyed that side of it. Like, the other angle of it, which was... Did you know that Rogue and Human Torch were such close friends? Because they were like, isn't Rogue really close to Human Torch? And I was like, I've never, ever even seen them have a fucking panel together. Is this the thing that's just been the last 5 minutes, Stu? Have you ever known about Rogue and Human Torch having a lot of interaction?
Not really.
No, this may be like Marvel the last 2 years, you know?
Well, quite possibly.
On the Unity Squad kind of thing, maybe Rogue and Human Torch, had a romance or something. Like, because I was kind of like... I was like, really? I didn't... They're separate teams, separate books. I've never even seen them speak to each other. I was kind of surprised that Rogue took it so personally. The Human Torch... He wasn't really killed either. He's just encased in sort of like almost amber or ice, isn't he, Stu?
Well, it's because he was the first person to get to that stone.
Yeah.
Like the
and he was one of the obstacles. The humans are just the obstacles.
The humans are all, the obstacles.
Yeah.
And part of this contest, they realised that the humans are actually... They were mocking each other because the humans were a better competitor than the Challenger.
Yeah.
Because the Challenger hasn't won any checkpoint, whereas Grandmaster's players got one and the humans got another.
Who is the Challenger's players? Is it the Black Order?
No, the Challengers are the other side. Right. So the Black Order is controlled by the... Grandmaster.
Right.
Who's
the guy who looks like a Nova?
The other one is the Lethal Legion.
Okay. Is part of the Lethal Legion a guy who looks very much like a Nova?
Captain Glory.
Okay, Stu. With the deep cuts over there.
That's
well done, Stu, I've got to say.
I'm glad you asked me that one.
This is why Stu is the number one and is always here on the show, because he has the deep cuts. I mean, that's not an easy one. Lethal Legion, Captain Glory.
Yeah,
it's not a kid, rough.
So that's who the Challengers pulled as his team.
Okay. I wonder why. Are you able to select anybody and you selected them? Like, it's just odd to me. Like, why wouldn't you pick... Can you pick anyone? I would have thought there was more powerful people.
I feel like they were given, 6 players each kind of thing. And
and he was holding one in reserve, he said, wasn't he? He mentioned as well.
So the Grandmaster said he's keeping one in reserve. Mm. And the only one we haven't seen, I think, is Black Swan from the Black Order.
Okay.
We haven't seen her on...
Well, I mean, look, I gave it a 6.5.
No, I gave it an 8. I really enjoyed this one. I thought it gave a backstory to a character we hadn't heard about.
I am enjoying this weekly Avengers read. It's interesting stuff. Like, I'm digging it. What did you think about Jarvis having Avengers fever? I thought that was a little, really? But I guess they've got to do something with that.
I didn't hate that, actually. Yeah. I thought this was a great way to introduce the concept that these Avengers are constantly bombarded with radiation.
Sure.
All these bugs and virus and everything, and Jarvis is human and around them.
And he's
copped background levels of all this stuff for decades now.
Sure. No, that's kind of cool, I guess, yeah.
So, look, if they're going to give him some kind of illness, I like that they went with this as opposed to, a cancer or something that's real.
Yeah.
I think this takes away that human aspect.
And it has a bit of in-story explanation. I always kind of dig it when they do the Avengers Mansion. They do something like 20 years ago and then now. Sort of, and they can cut between the different art styles, the different time periods and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It kind of keeps it fairly fluid. Something else I wanted to mention, just for listeners of the show out there, friend of the show, Mike Barron, has got his new comic Cue Ball, which is a very enjoyable kung fu book. Set, I think, in Indonesia, Stu, if I'm right in saying?
I think so. Yeah.
Look, I really enjoyed this one. Mike I'm a huge fan of Mike's work. Famous Punisher runs, and he's been on the show, interviewed a couple of times.
Yeah, big friend of the show.
Yeah, great guy, and you check it out. I believe it's available. I think it's available on Complexology and definitely in stores. I backed the Kickstarter on this one, Stu. I backed it with my own money. I'm very rarely in a Kickstarter. But,
if Dave's putting his money down, that's a big.
Mike Barron was essential to me growing up. He was the writer on the first Punisher I picked up, Stu. That's a lifelong bond, my friend. I almost took to the streets. You know what I'm saying? To take out scum. It's one step away. It's just the last shred of sanity hit my brain. Now, Stu, a book that really surprised me this week was XMen Red 1.
Yeah, when you put this on the list, I wasn't expecting a lot.
Well, I put it on because it was number 1, and we're always talking about we want to read some X-Men. This was such a cool, story, Stu. Basically, Jean Grey, the adult Jean Grey, has just come back. Who cares how? She's back from the dead. And she's using her powers to talk to, leaders and mathematicians and, really smart people and get, a vision of how she wants to change the world. I thought it was actually really quite cool.
So did I.
Yeah.
I thought this was actually a surprisingly good issue.
Yeah, it's fun when you can read next. This is probably since Brubaker and Fraction and the early part of Bendis' run. This is the first X-Men that I've really enjoyed. I'm not talking about tolerated and thought was okay. I genuinely enjoy this issue. Tom Taylor, by the way, an Aussie Stu, who writes All New Wolverine, did some Iron Man, is a very, very good writer. Tom Taylor has been on a lot of books that I've liked at Marvel, and I think he's actually hit a home run here, and I didn't expect it. I really thought another X-Men book,
Yeah, see, this is the perfect comic for me in that it had almost zero expectation coming in.
Yep.
I tried to read X-Men Gold and X-Men Blue.
Yeah, we tried it.
Didn't enjoy either one of them.
Yeah.
And this one, X-Men Red, I was thinking it's going to be more of the same. Gave it a try, and I actually really enjoyed it.
It was a bit more classic, high-concept X-Men. Back to the basics of, we want to save the world.
Yeah. So, to give you some basic idea, Jean Grey has come back, and she wanted to save the world in a new way.
Yes.
So she assembles all the greatest minds of our time to form an idea.
Sort of almost communally thinks.
Yeah. Links them all telepathically and then kind of comes up with some way to save the world. Realises that mutants don't have a nation or a home that she can appeal to
every
UN
nation
with.
they've been part of, Genosha, has been destroyed.
Exactly. So she goes and talks to Namor.
Yes.
To get Atlantis involved, talks to T'Challa to get Wakanda involved.
Yeah.
And both of them are willing to stand up for her.
T'Challa's a lot more accepted than Namor originally. Namor does his normal, storm off at the start, but then he, how he's famously high voltage, really, isn't he?
Yeah, he's always a bit dismissive. The ground dwellers are just future Atlantis.
He's just down there in his underwear, basically.
Basically, he's just sitting there wearing a Speedo.
But, I thought it was cool.
A very cool idea.
The scene at the UN, Stu, was good, I thought.
Yeah, where she makes this impassionate speech, and the Chancellor basically says, "You're not recognised as a nation. You can't do this." And then all of a sudden, you see Namor stand up, and you don't expect Namor to be the first person to stand up, because when she leaves, Namor's obviously doing his dismissive.
Yeah, he's like, "No,
ground dwellers don't care about you."
Yeah, go away.
He's the first one that stands up and says, "I recognise them as a nation."
And so does T'Challa.
T'Challa stands up, does the same thing.
More of a safe bet.
You knew that was coming.
Yeah. And then you see Cassandra Nova from the famous Morrison run. It turns up as well. The famous baddie from the Grant Morrison X-Men run. She was kind of like the Charles' sister, I think, from memory.
She is, yeah.
And she's quite a pretty cool character herself.
Does she actually show up in the flesh?
Well,
she does at the very, very end.
Yeah, at the very end. Because
But she was controlling the Chancellor.
Yeah.
Which made a little more sense because the Chancellor turned her down.
Yeah.
And then right after this big UN meeting, they're outside and the Chancellor just starts cackling wildly and then her head literally explodes.
Yeah.
And of course all the security guards think that Jean Grey's done it.
Yep.
It's completely ruined all her plans.
Yeah.
Namor jumps in the way to take all the bullets.
Yep. Well, he's very powerful, Namor.
Yeah, he blocks all the bullets.
Yeah.
And then we kind of flash over to Cassandra Nova
sort of evil,
sort of in this like black backgrounded lair.
Sort of yeah,
yeah, just like I'm the mastermind.
Yeah, and then flash to the XMen Red team, just sort of like disconsolate somewhere in exile.
Yeah,
all their dreams of a better world in ruins. But a really good issue.
Title.
Yeah, no, I very much enjoyed it, Stu. So I'm giving. I'm giving it. I've actually got 7.5. I'm going to give it 8.5, Stu. Actually, my end score. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I had it down as an 8. I really enjoyed it.
No, and I'd recommend it. And Tom Taylor, his Injustice is very good. His Superior Iron Man is very good. His All New Wolverine's excellent. He really is a good writer, Stu. It's good to see an Aussie guy like that, a writer, working for Marvel and doing so well.
For sure.
Now, Stu, I also want to single out Bane Conquest #9 by Chuck Dixon and Graham Nolan. I reviewed this on Batman Universe, Stu. This was a great issue, Stu, and it had a cameo from someone in the Justice League movie that's 1,000,000 times cooler than anything in the movie. He had, what's his name? Steppenwolf. And Steppenwolf in the movie, remember how forgettable he was?
Yeah, he was
Chuck does a
terrible.
one panel with Steppenwolf that's 1,000,000 times cooler. This was a really good issue. It kicks off 9 through to 12 is the wrap up of this series, and it's really, actually, to be honest, really good. And Graham Nolan is doing some incredible covers as well in the series. So I want to give that recommend out there to anyone who enjoys like that old 90s to early 2000s Chuck Dixon kind of work. This is some good stuff. Now, Stu, I think this takes us to Trade of the Week, and it's your Trade of the Week, Black Panther, Panther's Rage, probably, 1,500 pages, Stu, it felt like. Give us the pitch, Stu, because you are the king, you are the man when it comes to Black Panther.
So this is going to be another one where Dave and I did not have the same experience here.
Yeah, we normally are on the same page on most everything.
Normally pretty good.
But not this time, Stu.
No, this time we had very different experiences.
It kicked off with the Fantastic Four, though, issue, which I did enjoy.
Well, the Fantastic Four isn't part of this series.
No, but it's in the collection.
It is in your Ultimate Collection. It's not in my book that I had.
Robbed, Stu.
I've got that, but as a kind of a separate collection where it's first appearances.
Which makes sense because the first appearance is like a good probably 6 or 7 years before the actual story we're covering.
Yeah, the two stories aren't connected in any way. But Black Panther first appeared in Fantastic Four.
Yep.
And then we get a very brief appearance of him with the Avengers tie-ins as a pseudo-villain for an episode.
Yes. I actually read it on Marvel Unlimited where he comes into Avengers Mansion and he sort of beats the robots and stuff to come in. It's a bit of a classic episode.
Yeah, no one expects that anyone can get through Tony Stark's security, and Black Panther makes it through reasonably easily.
But then we cut to the middle of the 70s and Don McGregor writing a novel. And Stu, I'll hand it over to you.
We get Black Panther, Panther's Rage, which is, for me, a really enjoyable read. I think this is one of the best done graphic novels, and it's viewed as one of the first graphic novels.
Okay.
Before then, it was just a serial. People had comic books came out every month. This came out once every 2 months.
Okay.
It was a little longer than the others. It was collected in Jungle Action.
Yep. Extremely dense and wordy with magnificent art, I will say that.
Yeah.
Great art, Stu, I've got to say.
The artwork's stunning.
Ahead of its time, I would almost say, for a 70s comic.
It did feel almost 80s.
Yeah.
I think if it was a little darker, probably would have gone down that 80s road.
I myself didn't buy into the story like she did, but the art at times I thought was breathtaking,
Yeah. The writing... look, it's complex, it's dense, it's often poetic in the way he writes.
Oh, yeah. He writes very much like... Purple prose is this guy's stock in trade. It's heightened... It's not just dialogue, it's a lot of exposition this guy writes. He really likes to sort of go into the backstories of everybody and build the characters up through a lot of narration, basically.
Yeah, exactly right. So he comes onto this Black Panther title, and he writes this story about Black Panther in his homeland.
Yes.
Dealing with the problems of being a leader, having a usurper, having someone that wants to take his throne in Killmonger.
And after he's been away for so long with the Avengers, that's a key part.
Exactly. He's been in America, and his nation kind of feels like he's become an American. He's not an African anymore.
They sort of tease him a bit, calling you're done with playing the Jungle Lord.
Yeah, exactly. we get to see, this is one of the first graphic novels that actually had the majority of the characters be African American.
Dude, it was almost all black, wasn't it?
They were all black, bar I think one character that was white. Okay. I can't remember her name. The female who was in his compound the entire time.
Yeah, well, she's black. The songstress, Monica.
No, not Monica.
There may have been, but it is a very black-centric comic, which I liked. I thought that was actually really kind of like quite sort of innovative, really.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like a Gladys Knight knockoff, the songstress, like a.
Oh yeah. They call
Aretha Franklin kind of.
They say she's a minor leaguer in the Aretha Franklin mold or something.
Yeah,
they say that at the start. Look, one thing this guy did have, I found the storytelling sort of fairly mediocre, and personally, but he did have a way with words at times, and there were moments, Stu, where I was flicking through it because it was a long read, and he did something well. He was very good at doing dramatic starts to the issues. I liked how he would fight the different monsters at the start of every issue. And he was a big fan of detail. But there were times, even when I was disconnected from the story, where I'd turn the page and go, oh, that's just beautiful art, and there's actually good writing. Like, he has a lot of talent, and he was definitely pushing his own sort of view onto the comics. Like, he was following his own vision. And I was chatting to Drew Geraci, who was saying that apparently he got a lot of flack from Marvel, who wanted to bring in like Avengers, like Captain America stuff, to spice it up, for sales, because I can imagine it was struggling. And he refused and stuck to his vision. No, this is Black Panther's story. This is Black Panther's world. And one thing I will say, Stu, he did build a world. It wasn't a world that I'm personally that invested in, but he did build a very rich world. And I can imagine this book has spawned like a cult, because its fans would really love it. It's that kind of book.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's got... Killmonger's obviously the very serious villain.
Sure.
Reoccurring, plays a great role. We know he's upcoming in the movie, played by Michael B. Jordan.
Looking forward to that.
And he's kind of the main antagonist from this series.
Yeah, but he fights his way through his lieutenants to get to him, basically.
Yeah, and we've also got a couple of... Kazibe and Tayet.
Yes.
Were kind of the comic relief of the book.
Yeah.
Which I thought really helped with the flow of it.
I actually thought they did help. Yeah. Because Black Panther is very somber. He
is. And going through this, I would liken it somewhat to like a Nightfall version of Batman, where he's absolutely struggling physically, he's struggling mentally, but he's battling through, and he's kind of having to dig within himself to get there.
I mean, I'll take Nightfall any day of the week over this, but I agree with you, the concept is very similar, of pushing Black Panther to the limit. Because Black Panther doesn't... Stu, am I right in saying he is just a man, isn't he?
Yeah.
He doesn't have any supernatural abilities. He has the herbs that he eats.
The herbs kind of enhance... things.
Yeah. One thing I did like, actually, I thought this guy did, I actually liked Black Panther in this quite a bit. It was a lot of the extra stuff that just, it was honestly just tiring for me to read. I was like, wow, this is Black Panther, like breakfast, lunch and dinner Black Panther. Like, we are just in Black Panther's world. But the actual character of Black Panther is very well represented here.
Yeah.
So, it's an interesting one, Stu. Like, I was reading at the time, apparently Don McGregor was considered part of the next wave of, like, a new wave of writers alongside, like, Steve Englehart and others at Marvel in the mid-70s who really pushed different boundaries. And I will say this about this. Like, even though I'm not going to pretend that I was a massive fan, I found it quite boring. He was like a novel, writing a novel with pictures. And that was what he went for, and he went for 150%. And I always give credit to creators who do back their vision like that far.
Yeah,
you know, I always think that like, because not everything's going to appeal to everyone. It's very hard to write something that appeals to everyone. But would you agree with me, Stu? This was a guy. I mean, he has writing talent, and he just went. It's rare to see. Most writers, it feels more corporate. There, he wasn't corporate.
Look, at the time, this book wasn't hugely favourably reviewed.
No.
It's become more so since then.
Okay.
At the time, it was out there. Sure. I mean, like you said, the artwork was ahead of its time. Mm-hmm. The way it laid out its pages, even, that was ahead of its time.
The relationships, it's quite stronger than romances.
Yeah, the relationships, the subplots. The pacing of this as well, it is a slower paced novel.
And it's not blaxploitation either, which I thought it was going to be.
No.
I expected that was going to be, which is fair if you think about the time and the blaxploitation genre being so popular. That was what I thought it was going to be, and I was kind of ready for Luke Cage.
Yeah, you were waiting for kind of the silly comedy kind of aspect to this.
Yeah, but no, it's a very serious take. This guy was quite serious, really, frankly.
Yeah. So, look, it's been linked as a predecessor to something like The Watchmen.
Wow.
In its form, not the story, but
the art, though.
The art, the way it was written, the very self-referential, reflective, poetic kind of way it's written.
Very true.
So this did lead into a lot of amazing comics in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
And the late 70s.
And like a lot of 70s fiction, Stu, and movies, 70s get a bad rap. In movies, a lot of great cinema was produced in the 70s. It was a fertile ground for a lot of creators.
It's the same with comic books.
Yeah.
Like, the 60s was obviously the silver age of
dawn
comics.
of the new age.
We had Marvel kicking off for the first time.
Yep.
We saw dozens of people being created. You know, Stan and Jack were at their best.
For sure.
The 70s was a bit of a dip. We didn't see as many people being created.
A lot of writers were sort of retreading the Stan Lee sort of stories.
Exactly, they weren't sure where to go from there. Yeah. And by the time the 80s rolled around, they'd kind of found a new groove.
Definitely. The late 70s, you see the Frank Millers come in, those kind of guys.
Exactly. They'd redesigned, redeveloped what a comic book was, and they went forward from there. And this was kind of one of those stepping stones.
Yeah, no, I'd agree there. I'd agree very much so with that. I think it almost, to me, Stu, was like when you're watching old album shows, like classic albums, it's almost like a hidden album that not that many people know about, but was very influential.
Yeah.
I honestly, this comes from someone who didn't really personally enjoy it, but I could, as a creator and writer myself, I could see how much he put into it, and he built this quite interesting world. So I give props to someone for doing that.
Yeah, look, this isn't going to appeal to everyone. It's a longer read. I think understanding that this did come out once every 2 months.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And that you did kind of need to spend some time reading it.
The letterers would have had a hard time. With all the words he had on pages, to fit that in to the art would have been challenging.
Yeah. Trying to binge read this, like, we read it in a week.
And I struggled.
It's not the way it should be read. And I think that goes against both of us, trying to read it this quickly.
Yeah. Had you read it before, this?
Yeah, years ago I read this, and it took me 3 weeks, I think.
And how was your initial thoughts when you first time?
First time was very similar to you.
Okay.
I found it slow. I didn't connect with a lot of the characters the first time through.
Sure.
I think
you got more from a second read, did you?
Yeah, and also just reading more in general. I've kind of got a better appreciation.
You broadened
where comics were at the time, and I think I'm a big believer that you've got to judge it based on what was around at the time.
Oh, I 100% agree. No, you've got to look at the context of what's
I've gained more perspective of that, so that helps me a little bit more.
Understand.
So, look, I thoroughly enjoyed this second time through.
And to be honest, again, someone who didn't particularly love it, I actually think that time has probably been kind to it, because it was, in some ways, this is quite ahead of its time. In terms of its
absolutely.
Art,
to be honest, I think it holds up. I think the villains are well-rounded characters. You don't really get that often anymore.
No, I mean, look, if you want my honest opinion, modern-day comics in 2018 aren't actually, in superhero mainstream comics, aren't probably at their peak at all. Like, we're getting thin characterizations and kind of corporate cutouts now more than any time that I can remember. Frankly, being frank.
Yeah,
generally,
I think people are much more quick to judge, and as soon as they do, the comic book titles get cancelled very quickly.
Yeah, we're in a very active environment.
Whereas McGregor was given free rein to do what he wanted. The studio didn't want him to do this. Like, Marvel came to him and said, "We want you to write Captain America.
We want Captain America.
We want someone that can sell a title."
Yeah, exactly.
He stuck to his guns. He produced 12
Which is
issues.
Kind of a sign of an older comic book time where they were prepared to give people more free rein and sort of be a bit more experimental.
To put that in perspective, he wrote this for 2 years.
Yeah.
And did his own thing, did his own story, and saw it through. And now people are starting to recognise that it is a quality.
And I looked at his Wikipedia. The guy has actually got a fairly lengthy biography of stuff he did in the 70s and stuff. Like, I think he did a character called, I want to say, maybe Sable. He's got some stuff that he did beyond just Marvel stuff, like creator-owned. He's quite a well-respected figure in the industry.
Oh, absolutely.
And, look, it is very interesting. I think sometimes you can read something and just think that was just a terrible comic. That's not what I thought at all when I was watching this. I just felt like I was in the middle of a movie that I didn't personally have much investment in. But Stu, I stuck at it because of the show, and obviously, I do enjoy just reading in general. I mean, it's interesting. And honestly, more importantly than anything, listeners out there, if you're into Black Panther, look, I would recommend Stu the Christopher Priest run, and I would definitely recommend they at least have a look at this. You know what I mean? Because there could be a bigger buy-in for them than for me personally. I mean,
look, if you're new to the character, I wouldn't go near this. I would say if you're new to comics, I wouldn't go near this.
No.
Okay. I think this gets better with age, and I think
a more all-rounded reader, you're saying.
You need to have read a substantial amount of comics, especially from the 60s and 70s, to kind of get an appreciation for
this. It's very heightened narration, and not in the cheesy Stan way either. In a kind of slightly deeper way.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a very novelistic way of telling a story. This guy's actually probably more of a novel writer.
See, for me, and these two things are not comparable in any way, so please don't attack me for this, internet. But it's similar to like an English teacher giving their class Shakespeare to read.
Sure.
And that the kids have no perspective on who this person is.
No context. Yeah.
They've got no context. They don't love it. They hate it, actually. Yeah. Most people don't like it. Even though the English teachers are saying it's so great, you need to read it.
Shakespeare can be quite a lot to take in.
Exactly. It's a similar prospect here in that the writing style is so different.
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't have this to the kid who's just walking to the comic shop.
No, the way it's been done is so different that it.
But if you are well read and you have read a lot,
if you are a comic book fan, I think you will get quite a bit from this.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I agree with Stu, actually, frankly. I really do. And I think it's interesting that we can come from two such different takes, but I can definitely look at it and say this is a worthy work, And it's definitely a passion project as well.
Absolutely. Look, neither of us are giving it 10 out of 10.
No, I almost want to kind of like... It's almost... I want to almost recuse myself from scoring, because I honestly don't feel like... in terms of my enjoyment, it was low. But in terms of the content of the work, I can appreciate what was put into it and the art and everything. So I'm giving it a passing grade,
For sure, yeah.
So I am recusing myself from an actual score because I don't think it's fair to the work.
Oh, I've got it down as a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Very enjoyable read. I would recommend it if you've read a lot of other...
Just to put it against something of its time, roughly, where would you put it against? Remember one of our first shows we did Power Man and Iron Fist? A completely different style of storytelling at the same time, which we also struggled with.
For me, this is head and shoulders above.
I think creatively this is head and shoulders above.
Actually, McGregor had just come off writing Power Man.
Oh, had he really?
He'd written something like 18 issues of Power Man.
Wow, okay. I wonder if he was in the collection that we looked at. I don't know.
I don't think he was.
Joe Duffy did some of it. I think Chris Claremont may have been the other writer.
Yeah, I think he came on just before what...
Right. Yeah.
What we'd read.
That's interesting. No, I mean, I think creatively as a piece of work, this is head and shoulders above that. This is kind of like...
Oh, yeah.
This is a fairly advanced work, frankly,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think, for me, it's probably one of the best things you will get out of the 70s.
Sure. There's a lot of good stuff in the 70s, though, Stu, as well. From a lot of good Batman in the 70s, like Denny O'Neil. I don't know. It's up there, though.
Look, for me, it's Marvel.
It's in the team photo,
I'm not thinking DC.
Oh, you're not thinking DC? No?
No, for me, I kind of compare Marvel to Marvel. I think that's a fairer comparison to make when you're looking at a decade.
Fair enough, Stu. Fair enough.
For one, DC has been around 20 years before that.
Good point.
So you'd think they should be a little further ahead.
But they weren't.
They weren't particularly far ahead. But characters like Batman and Superman had the advantage of being around for that much longer.
Yeah.
They had kind of more mature characters.
Let's face it, like, for all this talk about Marvel and DC, a lot of the great writers and artists bounced between the two of them. Especially in the 70s, heavily.
Yeah.
And like, frankly, that's why I've always thought this whole so-called war is just bullshit. When you've got, like, famous creators going from title to title. I heard someone interviewing Dan Slott about Bendis, and he's like, look, I can understand it. The guy's been doing Marvel for like 20 years. He's a great writer. He looks across the road, all this material that's untapped material for him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost a no-brainer that at some point you're going to go, well, I want to play in that sandbox because I've done everything I can possibly do in this one. And I've still got all my gifts as a writer. I can get much fresher stories out of stuff that I'm not doing for the third or fourth time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it makes total sense. Okay, well, no, anyway, let's put that in the show notes. I think this is actually one of the more interesting ones that we've done and was quite experimental. And definitely one of Stu's picks. This was. I mean, you owe me a Punisher after this, Stu. Sure.
I don't think so. And I did warn you before we started this that this was not going to be your cup of tea.
I didn't pay any attention to you, though, did I?
Yeah, you never do.
No. So next week, Stu, is going to be episode 49. Okay.
Next week is episode 49. We're getting into the scary kind of numbers.
Yeah. And we're heading towards our anniversary show, which is the 50th anniversary.
50th is our 1 year. That's our first birthday.
Yeah, exactly. If we can only remember, Stu, the first episode we recorded where I fucked up the mic on one of the mics.
Yeah, that's not. Yep. And then, so that's there.
But so we're going to do next week. We're going to do Deadpool Classic Volume 2, which is the beginning of the Joe Kelly run of Deadpool in the 90s.
Yes, it is. So if you're wanting to follow it on Comixology, it's Deadpool Classic.
Yep, Volume 2. Yep.
And they're on sale at the moment. I think it's $10 on Comixology, down from $17.
And I mean, how much do we love these Deadpool classics? This is where we basically got a Deadpool.
Yeah, exactly. I've got, I think, 11 or 12 of these lined up somewhere.
I love the way that the Deadpool classic really stretches into like modern Deadpool now. Like
basically,
it's gone all the way. And now, Stu, for episode 50, we've got some suggestions from the audience and some thoughts of our own. Now, I'm going to read out some of the suggestions, Stu. Kicking off Savage Sword of Conan, one of the trade paperbacks, which are thick, like phone books, Stu. This was me, mostly, and Corey came up with this together, a bit of symbiose.
Look, I'm happy to read some Conan next.
Good.
In the next few weeks. That's not a problem.
Definitely, yeah. Because
maybe not a phone book.
You've got some learning to do, so that's good. Then we've got Squadron Supreme. Corey suggested this, which is a famous Marvel title from the mid-'80s, Stu, which was kind of considered one of their more highbrow titles.
Very cool.
And I think have you ever read it?
No, I haven't actually.
Okay. Do you have that one in trade? I would think probably in your collections. No?
Think so right now.
I've got it digitally. But anyway, I know that's highly regarded. I've never read it. I think Adam Prime suggested this. It was definitely one of the Adams. We've got a couple of fans whose names are Adams. And I always think Adam Prime, Stu, like Superboy Prime. It always comes in my head. Anyway, he suggested Saga, which I think is actually a pretty cool suggestion. Because that's, Brian K. Vaughan, BKV.
I like that.
Yeah. See this, and now here we go. Michael Kellershim wrote in.
Yep.
And I love his emails. How about this, Stu? Jeff Lemire, underwater welder, Stu. And he said...
That was a bit left field for me.
Hugely left field, Stu. And you know what he said? It'll be outside your vigilante and cosmic wheelhouses for you both. Which I thought was a funny comment from him.
I like that. I like that neither of us will be comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay. Thanks, Michael. No Punisher. And don't forget my suggestion, Stu, which was the Punisher Epic Collection, Capital Punisher.
Yeah, your suggestion is always just Punisher.
Michael's sister suggested Little Pony Friendship is Magic.
Awesome. I mean, obviously we both have that in hardcover.
Yeah, exactly.
Hardcover signed versions on our bookshelves. Yeah.
Good work, Michael's sister. And Adam Crouch suggested Ghost Rider, Wolverine, Punisher, Hearts of Darkness from the 90s. And he said this could be right up Dave's alley. Well, you're 100% right there.
Yeah, right up Dave's alley. I'm hoping it's heavy on the Wolverine.
So, I mean, that's a lot of good suggestions. We're kicking around some ideas as well.
Yeah, we had a few ideas.
So, we'll announce it next show, yeah? Next show we'll announce what we'll do in episode 50.
Yeah, so did you have any other ideas other than Punisher?
Did I? I don't remember.
Did you have anything else that wasn't...
I don't know, did I?
Punisher related? I don't know, I'm just asking a question. I like how you're flicking through your phone for an answer.
Well, we've got, Spider-Man suggestions.
I've suggested Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix is good.
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier? Ed Brubaker?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Iron Man Extremis was a good one. I liked Iron Man Extremis.
Iron Man Extremis by Warren Ellis. I'm thinking Kraven's Last Hunt.
Another good one.
Spider-Man, a classic.
More Spider-Man.
Go down the Spider-Man.
I've always wanted to do the whole Avengers disassembled into House of M run. I love that Avengers run.
I went back once and read Avengers Disassembled on Marvel Unlimited. It's pretty cool, actually.
Very fun.
They blow up the mansion. It's where Brett Bendis basically came over from the Ultimate Universe and started taking over in normal Marvel. It's good stuff. Even Ultimate Spider-Man, Stu.
Daredevil Born Again, we've spoken about it. I'd love to do that on the show.
Oh, yeah, Stu. Oh, there's a lot of good ideas. I mean,
I've got a lot of good ideas, Dave.
Just keep going.
I've got so many good ideas.
You've got so many good ideas over there.
You want more? We've got Secret Wars. We haven't done Secret Wars.
We just did it.
No, the other Secret Wars.
Oh, the modern one.
Modern one.
Oh, yeah, we'll definitely do it. Well, I think we need
Or Deadpool Secret Wars. We haven't done that.
We definitely will do Deadpool Secret Wars. I mean,
Demon in a Bottle with Iron Man. spoken about that on the show? Haven't done
Didn't we do that? We did that, man.
We did that very early on, was it?
David Michelini, yeah, we did that one. And I'm doing, we did that one, and I'm doing Armour Wars with Drew Geraci on Drew's Views. I've done part 1 and part 2. I got in trouble with Drew for being too random with my questions. Can you believe that, Stu?
I can believe that, Dave, yeah.
My scattergun questions. I was asking him stuff like, so when did War Machine start, Drew? He's like, in the 90s, Dave, well after this. Yeah, okay. Well, good to know. And I'm like, I never actually read a story, I just played the video game, and he's just like... you can almost hear Drew just shaking his head. I put up with this kid. There's a ton of suggestions. I mean, if you go into X-Men as well, Stu, like I'm thinking, what about like some Wolverine shit, man?
The other one I'd love to do is 1602. Neil Gaiman's.
I've never read it. Yeah, I'd love to do it. Yeah,
Neil Gaiman's one. I love that book.
Stu, what about Wolverine, like Enemy of the Estate or the original Wolverine?
Wolverine Origin, we haven't done. I don't think. Have we done that?
Wolverine Origin? No, we haven't done that. Definitely not. There's a lot of stuff we could do. Shoot.
Oh, this show's writing itself.
Yeah, there's shitloads of stuff we could do, and we're not even touching DC. There's heaps of DC stuff we could do as well, and image stuff. Like Stu and I are sticking around. I mean, get ready for the the news and views to keep on coming. I mean, I've battled through a massive cold and flu this episode. I haven't died. I've had like 4 quadrils during it, Stu. I mean, what is it, Stu? Is everybody in? The ceremony is about to begin. It's actually almost over. Sorry, Jim Morrison, as you're sipping your bottle of vodka in your fucking bathtub in Paris. Idiot. Baby, light my fire. Do you think that was his last words, Stu? He's like,
Dave.
LA woman, baby, light my fire. And he just passed it out.
I don't know if the voice is necessary, but I'm digging it.
Yeah. Seize the day of your divinity. He's just so stoned. Is everybody in? The ceremony's about to begin.
There's like one person listening who's like loving this, and everyone else is going, "What the fuck is Dave on? What the fuck have you taken?"
Okay, Stu, I think this is wrapping up this show. I think when I'm starting to do my Jim Morrison impressions, we probably hit the end point. Would you agree?
You've done the same impression now, like 5 times.
And I like to do the same impression. Break on through, Stu, to the other side. There was a period of my life, Stu, where I was punching a lot of cones, and I used to listen to LA Woman, the album, like a lot. And that song, The Changeling, I used to get fucking.
Is anyone listening surprised right now?
Tripped out to that song.
Nobody is surprised.
The Changeling, it used to go off, man. It was pretty good. LA Woman is a very good album, actually, I must say. In Dave's album reviews, LA Woman is a damn good album. Okay, now
if you're still listening at this point,
thank you for listening.
Well done.
Thank you for listening. Please write in with your suggestions. I'll read out any suggestions, and we'll make a decision next show on what we're doing on 50. Also, on 50, episode 52, we're going to do the first volume of 52, and then we'll stagger out the rest of the 3 other ones over the course of like the next, say, 15 episodes. Please like the Facebook page and join our Signal of Doom Facebook group, and that way you can really interact with all the other fans on there. And I am the Lord and King of that group, and I rule with not even an iron fist, more sort of from my throne, very much like Dr. Doom, in fact, is what I base my sort of ruling mentality on. I like Dr. Doom, Stu.
I used to like Dr. Doom.
Very anti-Nazi, which I like about Dr. Doom as well. Do you think there's any chance, Stu, I'm just going to pitch this to you right now, of Dr. Doom being in the Silver and Black movie, considering he's good friends with Silver Sable?
No.
Okay. Well, Stu's just shooting down dreams. You're just shooting down dreams today, Stu.
They're not going to use their biggest, most amazing villain that possibly Marvel has ever made, let alone...
in a Sony production with Silver Sable.
Them, let alone Sony owned. Just one of the greatest villains of all time.
Sure.
And throw it into Silver and Black.
Yeah. Which is... I'm looking forward to, frankly, but that is a bit of a hidden hope.
But yeah, it's a couple steps down from their major league.
Yeah. I'm just looking forward to Dr. Doom when he arrives in the Marvel Universe.
When Marvel actually get to do Dr. Doom, I'm looking forward to that.
I think it'll be fucking fantastic.
Yeah, he is my favourite villain of all time.
I love it, Stu. On that note, we will say goodnight and we'll see you next week. Bye.
See ya.